Hello everyone, welcome to an awkward episode of UMINEKO. This is going to be episode 12, I'm going to also need to do this for episode 13. The VODs unfortunately did get lost for these episodes, but I don't want there to be this awkward gap that's not there. And I have actually played a little bit forward from the point that I am recording this. So this is going to make things a little difficult in terms of kind of not revealing what I know and what I don't know, but we're gonna make it work either way. I actually don't know where exactly we are in story. I do know that this is chapter 2. I think that at this point, they should have at least been like, oh, I think Shannon should have like smashed the mirror on the island thing. But I'm just kind of going into this a little cold, because the colder that I am about it, I think the more I can have a more genuine reaction that's going to match more of my streaming experience. So this will be a little bit more me going straight forward and just kind of reading and then occasionally giving my input here and there, versus the streams where I have chat and it's more of kind of like a back and forth and kind of discussing out loud with them. I mean, I will probably discuss out loud here and there, but I don't think it'll be as frequent as it is when I stream. So just a little warning for you guys going in. This isn't like the true genuine reaction. It's a re-record because somehow when I downloaded it was corrupted. So we have lost episode 12 and 13. Ah, how amusing, how truly amusing. Why is the human world still so amusing after all the years I've been away? Go mad with love. Go mad with gold. Those who don't go mad from one of the two are not human. Furniture even. I see, so that's why the word furniture is so fitting. Furniture is created to serve humans. And I cruelly treat humans as playthings to sate my 1,000 years of boredom. What a truly amusing three-way deadlock that I cannot control furniture. A three-way? Wait. Truly amusing three-way deadlock. Huh. I don't know what happened before this. Kinzo, you fool! What a truly entertaining scheme you've worked out. Grandpa still needs to come downstairs for dinner. Furniture, you fools! Just you try and see if you can fell me. Okay, so this must be their. Banterichi has probably just summoned the storm and has now trapped everybody on the island. That has to be where we're at. Tonight, 2 seeds of love have been sown. Including the one already sown. That makes 3. 3 who? Banterichi. Oh, right, with you. Why did you leave me alone in this painful world? I hate you. Why do I love you? I hate you for all eternity for not even trying to answer despite being yearned for so. I already opened a can, so you can't stop me. I mean, granted, it's liquid death, but still. Master, drinking any more will be damaging to your health. Dr. Nanjo warned you as well, did he not? Be silent, Genji! Nobody asked you!
お前にはわからぬ。我が嘆きも苦しみもわからぬ。
You do not understand. You do not understand my grief and sadness!
お前だけは我が苦しみを理解してくれていると。お前だけは我が最古の友人であると信じているのに。
And I believed at least you, my oldest friend, would understand my pain!
なぜに理解できないというのか。
Why can you not understand?
おー、ベアトリーチェ。
Beatrice!
なぜ私だけを置き去りに。
Why did you leave me all alone? Get therapy. That's Genji's reaction. Oh, are we at, did they go to the school already? Did they do that? I don't know. Why are you crying? Why have deaths happened? Where am I? No one's dead yet. What the hell do you mean furniture? Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I don't get it.
Oh, おいたわしやジェシカ様。
Oh, poor Jessica-sama.
寝室から聞こえてくるすすり泣く声に、私は事情を知りつつもどうしようもないのでございます。
Even though the cries I hear coming from your room tell me of the situation, there's nothing I can do.
すべては若すぎた二人と近すぎた距離。そして生まれた家柄が遠すぎたゆえの悲劇。
This is all a tragedy due to a pair who are too young, getting too close, when the positions of their birth are too distant.
私はただただお嬢様のお気持ちを汲み取り、足音を殺して静かに立ち去るのみなのでございます。
I can do nothing but understand Milady's feelings, hide my footsteps, and quietly walk away. That's all I can do. I'm off now. I'm going to sleep. That was gonna make a social security joke, but she's in Japan. That doesn't work. They don't have that there. We don't have it here either soon. What do you mean by that? George, you propose? George-san.
言葉通りの意味だよ。
I mean what I said.
僕はまだ自分の城を築き上げてない。
I still haven't built up my castle. Well, get your money up, not your funny up, my guy.
それができて初めて僕は一人前になれたと思えるんだ。
Once I manage to do that, I'll finally be able to think of myself as an adult. Okay. Well, I mean, 23, 16, still, I mean, maybe you should start thinking like one.
その時君と結婚したい。
When that happens, I want to marry you. Okay, there it is.
それはその
That's Mm,
でもそれじゃもう僕の心が許せないんだ。
but my heart won't let me do that anymore.
だから君に婚約指輪を贈りたい。
So I want to give you an engagement ring.
婚
Engagement,
約ですか。
you say?
でもその
But
私
I am
家具ですし。
furniture.
そうだったね。
Oh, right, that. We'll get that buffed out or whatever.
じゃあ家具は人の言うことを聞かないとね。
Well then, furniture has to listen to what people say, right? Uh-oh.
今君に贈るのにふさわしい指輪を作らせてる。
Right now, I'm having a ring made that'll be fitting for you.
多分今度の親族会議の日には持っていけると思う。
I think it'll be ready in time for me to bring it up to the upcoming family conference.
その時に送るからどうか君の返事を聞かせてほしいんだ。
I'll give it to you then, so please, I want you to let me hear your answer.
君が僕の婚約を受けてくれたら、
If you accept,
僕はその席でおじい様を含めた全ての親族の前で君との婚約を宣言する。
then I'll proclaim our engagement right there in front of all the relatives, including grandfather.
ジョージさん。
George, son.
君と僕の仲をふさわしくないと咎める人たちはきっといる。
Meanwhile, damn, I just read the line. I'm sure some people would approve our relationship. The joke I was gonna say was, meanwhile, there's a couple in the back who's just like looking and staring at them and like, isn't he a little too old for her?
でもそいつらの顔を見る必要はない。
But there's no need to look at their faces.
君はその瞳の中に僕だけを満たしていればいいから。
Regular Casanova over here. Because you only have to fill your eyes with mine.
君を必ず幸せにする。
I read that one on a pickup line book. Sorry, I mean, I will definitely bring you happiness.
それだけは絶対に約束するから。
That's the one thing I can promise you with certainty. Oh. It's Latin chanting, it sounds like. I just can't wait to see how it will ripen. It might be Italian, I can't tell.
熟れに過ぎて腐り落ちる果実の液に黄金の蝶たちは舞い降りる。
The gold butterflies do not swoop upon the juice of overripened rotting fruit.
今より収穫の日が待ち遠しい。
I cannot wait for the day of the
宴の時
harvest to
はま
come.
だかまだか。
Is the time of the banquet here yet? I wish the mod would have broken that line up a little bit more. Oh, and in classic me fashion, I apparently saved just before we got to like a chapter end. Even me in the future is sitting here mocking myself. The first day. Wow, we haven't even gotten on the boat yet? That means I'm going to hear the do-do-do-do-do-do-do, right? They'd eaten breakfast at a coffee shop in the station building. By chance, the inside of the shop had been decorated with Halloween colors since it was October. Mari had seemed to be awfully pleased with that. For quite some time, she had talked loudly inside the train about wanting to have a Halloween festival without caring that she was attracting the attention of others. Halloween is popular in Europe and America, but people aren't that familiar with it in Japan. The shopping district was colorfully decorated with orange pumpkins, but the costume parades of children demanding sweets and saying trick or treat were nowhere in sight. I want a Halloween festival. I don't want to wear these clothes. I want to look like a witch. I mean, what? You don't think you look like one now? The family conference isn't for playing. We're going to meet grandfather, so you have to dress up nice. While it wasn't completely full inside the train, it was really packed, with almost all the seats occupied by passengers. Maria was making a fuss among them, stomping her feet on the seat while Rosa scowled at her. Rosa had warned her many times to lower her voice, but Maria hadn't obeyed her at all. Once Maria got like this, no matter how much you tried to explain the situation or calm her, she wouldn't listen. Before, Rosa used to pamper Maria and give in to her at times like this. But that had probably been a mistake. Surely, Maria had gained the mistaken impression that throwing a tantrum long enough would make her mother give up and do what Maria said. Rosa had realized that error with the help of an educational book, and since then, she hardened the part of her heart that wanted to pamper her beloved daughter. Her mutual understanding with Maria began to grow weaker and weaker, and she began to get discouraged by her own powerlessness more and more often. Halloween! Halloween! If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank. Ooh, ooh, ooh. She'll ooh, ooh all day long, and I'm sure that's going to be a great time for you, Rosa. I don't have any sweets to give you. We just ate breakfast.
お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃう。
If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank.
お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃう。
If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank. I'm hoping that's her kicking the seat. A stout old woman who was sitting next and nearby as Maria stomped her feet. Okay, thank God. Picked a candy out of her handbag and held it out to Maria. Ooh, I got a sweet, I got a sweet. Look, Mama. Mama. Happy Halloween.
こらマリア、勝手に人からお菓子をもらっちゃダメでしょ。
Oh. Hey, Maria, you can't just accept sweets from strangers, right?
返しなさい。
Give it back.
いいんですよ。
Oh, don't worry about it.
元気なお嬢さんですこと。
She's such a spirited young lady.
おいくつです？
How old is she? 3? Maybe there was no malice in the old woman's words. However, Rosa seemed to find that remark extremely humiliating.
マリア、知らない人からお菓子をもらっちゃいけないっていつも言ってるでしょ。
Maria, haven't I always told you not to accept sweets from strangers? Oh.
これはマリアがもらったの。
She gave it to me.
やだ、マリアの。
No, it's mine.
話しなさい。
Let go of it.
ママの言うことを聞けっていつも言ってるでしょ。
How many times do I have to tell you to do what Mama says?
マリアの。
It's mine.
マリアの。
Mine. Oh.
その言うのをやめなさいって。
Oh, here we go. Don't I always tell you not to say ooh? I'm sure that was effective, Rosa. Rosa reflexively hit Maria violently on her cheek. Oh, Jesus. In a flash, Maria started crying loudly. Rosa immediately took the candy from Maria's hand and pushed it back towards the dumbfounded old woman sitting next to them.
うちの子に勝手にお菓子を与えないでください。
Please, do not just give sweets to my daughter.
ごめんなさい。
I'm so sorry. Breathing heavily, Rosa once again held the candy out to the old woman. After getting flustered about what she should say for a few moments, perhaps the old woman realized that her actions may have troubled this parent and child, and she accepted the candy back, apologizing. There's like anamorph transformation there. Or of a transition, I should say. After that, Rosa finally took notice of her surroundings. Her daughter's clothes were all messed up. She was crying and shouting with her nose dripping. And there were many dumbfounded passengers watching them. Except for the sound of the train running, the interior was completely silent. Fortunately, that pitiful silence didn't last more than a short while. However, it was followed by an even more painful atmosphere as everyone began to whisper. Maria shouted, cried, kicked, and stomped her feet as usual, paying no heed to the people sitting around her. Impulsively, Rosa tried to slap her again, but she noticed the cold eyes of the people in the train and couldn't. Thank God for public, just people being there. My God, this would have been so much worse. Well, that sucked. When the train stopped, Rosa forcibly pulled Maria's arm and got off, almost dragging her daughter along. Maria didn't stop crying. Oh, Jesus. Rosa took her to the end of the platform and hit her cheek again. At the moment she was hit, Maria stopped crying for an instant, but before long, she shouted and cried even more than before. You know, it's crazy that I have read this before, and it still is insanely uncomfortable. Overwhelmed with emotion, Rosa grabbed the nape of Maria's neck and dragged her, tugging at her hair. She's not a cat. What are you doing? Mama, it hurts. Mama, it hurts. Didn't I tell you to shut up? That ooh of yours. I told you. I told you to stop. Yeah, I don't think this. No. All right, you didn't have to take it there. I mean, like, you didn't have to take it there back at when you were on the train. I don't think this is the no. That's the reason you can't make any friends in class, right? Get a hold of yourself. Why are you still a kindergartner inside your head? Why can't you do what Mama says? Why? Why? With those severe words, Rosa hit Maria's cheek over and over again. The more Maria cried and shouted, the more Rosa hit her. And the more Maria was hit, the more intensely she cried and shouted. Mama, it hurts. Mama, it hurts. Mama, save me. Mama, save me. Why can't you stop saying, ooh? Why can't you? Sorry, this is exactly why you can't make friends. This is why Papa's business trip never ends. Oh. This is why. Yeah. Excuse me, ma'am. Is everything all right? Do you want something? The one who timidly called to her was the station attendant. Rosa glared at the attendant with a look that said, "Don't butt into the problems of a mother and child, stranger." I mean, she would probably say that. Of course, the attendant surely hadn't wanted to get involved either. However, Rosa had been yelling on the platform for a much longer time than she had imagined. Her emotional scolding had led the passengers on the platform to advise the attendant to call out to her. Rosa yelled at the attendant, saying not to worry anymore since they'd be getting on the next train. And then finally, or rather for the second time, she noticed the passengers on the platform staring at her from a distance. What a monster of a human being. Rosa sweat slightly and felt a breeze make her... Rosa sweat slightly and felt a breeze make her sweat go cold, tormenting her. Maria still kept on crying, shielding her own head. Of course, if this beating continued, she probably kept crying indefinitely. I don't know whether to read that as like a I did it or just I did it. Yeah, okay. I did it again. As the terrible heat in Rosa's head faded, she knew she had surrendered her soul to evil again. Mama, Mama. Mama, come back. Rosa fell to her knees and hugged Maria, whose face was all soggy with tears and mucus. Maria, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Mama, Mama. Welcome back, welcome back. Finally, Maria realized that her mother was her mother again. She clung to her mother's body and cried, burying her face in her mother's chest. Forgive your bad mama. Forgive your bad mama. I'm so sorry. Please, don't hate your mama. I'm just fine. Won't hate mama.
ただけ。
Mama was only being possessed by the bad witch again.
でもママが帰ってきたから平気。
But you came back, so I'm just fine. Yeah, that's right.
悪い魔女にママはまた乗り移られていたの。
Mama was just being possessed by the evil witch again.
ごめんね。本当にごめんね。
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. For a long time, the two of them hugged each other, asking for and sharing words of forgiveness. After a while, they calmed down and both moved back at the same time. Maria's face and Rosa's face were both deep red after crying their eyes out.
マリアはハロウィンのお祭りがしたいの。
Do you want to have a Halloween festival, Maria?
おう。ジョージお兄ちゃんやジェシカお姉ちゃんにかぼちゃマシュマロ見せてあげたかった。
Yeah, I wanted to show those pumpkin marshmallows to George Oni-chan and Jessica Oni-chan. It was a candy they had been selling near the cash register at the shop where they had eaten breakfast. A fancy sweet that had a big orange marshmallow in the shape of a jack-o'-lantern attached to the tip of a stick. Mario had wanted it and had insistently pestered Rosa for it. Rosa had refused, saying that there was no way she could buy sweets right after breakfast.
じゃあマリア。
Then Maria,
この町に売っているかどうかわからないけど、降りて探してみようか。
I don't know if they sell those in this town or not, but let's not get off and try searching for them, okay? Oh, sorry, but let's get off and try searching for them, okay? Yeah.
ママ大好き。愛してる。
I love you, Mama. Love you so much.
ありがと
Thank you.
う。私もよ、マリア。
I love you too, Maria. The truth was that they didn't want to waste. The truth is that they didn't have time to waste loitering around at a stopover station. They missed the airplane. They'd fall behind. They'd fall half a day behind schedule. Probably for the. No, I think Rosa deserves to be a part of it. Okay, so we're not at the island yet. She should have left home with more time to spare, but she ended up leaving late after choosing Maria's clothes. Because of that, Rosa had been a bit impatient since the morning. She looked at the clock. They had to get on the next train. But my daughter firmly joined hands with her to go buy the sweet with her mother, and that hand was warm. To Rosa as she was now, it was more important to renew her bonds with Maria. To her, Maria was not only a beloved daughter, she was everything Rosa had. Fortunately, they could see a big supermarket right in the front of the station. They might not be able to find exactly the same sweet, but Mario would probably be able to will probably be happy with a similar one. Besides, Rosa couldn't show up with a face swelled from crying. She must fix her makeup.
あれと全く同じマシュマロは見つからないかもしれないけど、似たようなお菓子があるといいね。
Maybe we won't find a marshmallow exactly like that one, but hopefully we can find something like it.
それで、いとこのみんなを一緒に驚かそうね。
Let's buy some and surprise all your cousins together. Yeah.
ママと一緒に買うお菓子なら何でもいい。
As long as we buy it together, any sweet is fine. They exited through the turnstiles of the station in this unknown town. Maria walked across the pedestrian crossing together with her mother, chuckling to herself as though she was walking in an amusement park. It's quite the turnaround. Both faces were still deep red. But the two of them, mother and child, smiled warmly at each other without any restraint.
あなた、
Dear,
こんなところでどうされたのですか?
what are you doing in a place like this? I hope it's just Kraus. Like, I just imagine like Kraus. I don't think they would have the internet. Well, the internet wouldn't be a huge thing yet, right? I don't know what he would be doing right now. I don't know something that would be funny for this.
君か。
Oh, it's you.
なんでもない。
It's nothing.
考え事をするのにここが少し心地よかっただけだ。
You know, it's really weird. My joke was that he's just staring out at the window, and it kind of is what he's doing. I just find this a pleasant place to think.
今日の準備はすべて手配が終わっています。
All of our preparations for today have been completed.
あとはお茶でも飲みながらくつろいで待とうではありませんか。
Why don't we have some tea and relax while we wait?
すまん。
Forgive me.
君にいつも面倒なことをすべて押し付けている。
I'm always making you handle such troublesome matters.
どうか
Please,
私をもっと頼ってはいただけませんか。
rely on me even more.
私はあなたの妻です。
I am your wife.
無論君にはいつも助けられているし、感謝もしている。
Naturally, I'm grateful to have you always coming to my aid.
だからこそ、私は私の仕事に専念できる。
That's precisely why I'm able to devote myself to work.
分かっています。
I understand.
お仕事のこと、
I understand about your work
そしてお父様の遺産の話ですね。
and the topic of father's inheritance, right?
君には関係のないことだ。
That has nothing to do with you.
欲深な兄弟たちの腐肉の漁り合いに過ぎ。
It's nothing more than fishing for rotten meat amongst greedy siblings.
大丈夫です。あなた、
It's okay, dear.
すべてうまくいきます。
Everything will go well.
あなたのお仕事がうまくいかなかったことはありません。
Your businesses have never failed to work themselves out. He doesn't even believe that. Nazi softly cuddled close to Krause's shoulder. She complimented Krause on his hard work, but Nazi knew better than anyone that his work wasn't going well. Krause's project was something like a seesaw where a large amount of money swings. Uh-oh. Big investments can lead to massive payoffs. Uh-oh. But like large seesaws, they tend to shake a lot when moving very slowly instead of showing immediate results. At times, it's possible to make further investments so that the seesaw inclines faster towards the side you want. Of course, you'd only do that if you were confident you'd be able to recover all your investments in the not so distant future. However, the seesaws Krause chose never turned out as he would have liked them to. His foresight wasn't wrong, but the times were moving sluggishly. They never managed to catch up with him. For example, think of a literal seesaw placed in a park. It's a really popular item, so there's always someone playing on it, and you've got to wait a long time for your turn. Let's say that one day you spotted one of those seesaws that was completely unused and you raced to grab it first and have it all to yourself. However, unless someone got on the opposite side of the seesaw, you wouldn't be able to play on it. What if lots of time passed and no one came to the opposite end? You'd probably die of starvation? Seesaws are popular, so if you wait long enough, a companion will surely show up. But Krause noticed something. No one's coming to his seesaw. The weather's getting worse, so no one's coming outside to play. But seesaws are popular, so someone will surely come eventually. This is like insane logic that people will use in arguments to be like, oh, but people love this thing, and it's like, bro, it's raining outside. Yeah, but like people love seesaws, man. Like someone will be here. Surely, yeah. Someone's gonna come outside, and it's like, bro, I want to live in your world of illusion, but like, no one's coming. The weather's shit. Get inside. Stop doing this. And that's what his investments are. If he vacated his place because of the worsening weather, it would certainly be snatched away. No, the FOMO, huh? And once again, he ended up longly gazing from a distance at someone else having fun on the seesaw. On one side of the seesaw, he continued to wait patiently, all alone. That was Krause's project in his current situation. If only I'd had a bit more courage and the self-confidence to believe in my own foresight. I would never have failed. Yes, that's true. Your foresight is never wrong. You're the only one who inherited father's resourcefulness. You inherited an innate disposition that none of the other siblings did. But I could never believe in it. I always shut my own projects down like a coward. Why can't I believe in myself? Who would have believed in a man who can't? Who would believe in a man who can't believe in himself? Nobody believes. I'm always sitting on the seat where the losers must sit. And my father, my mother, my siblings all sneer at me. How long is it going to take for me to be set free of this emotional complex? Just how long will it take? Natsuhi was the only one who knew. Only she knew of Krause's anguish. As the eldest son of the Ushiromiya family, who would soon be forced to bear an immense responsibility, he couldn't open his pained eyes. He couldn't open his pained heart to anyone, and was always getting compared to his father's great enterprises. I made preparations concerning all other matters so that you will be able to devote your attention entirely to the family conference. Yes, everything else has been seen too. Thank you. Will there be any problems dealing with father? No. Genji and Dr. Nanjo are on our side. I'll never allow those greedy siblings to make contact with father. Hello, Goda here. Sorry, I'm here to finally provide the comedic relief, or just any relief at this point. Yes, please leave it to me. I'm anxious to put my skills to work for the big annual job. In the kitchen, multicolored ingredients were gathered and the preliminary arrangements were promptly being started. Even though it was still morning, the ingredients for dinner were already in saucepans and steaming. Normally, he had to deal with Normally, he had to deal with several assorted matters, but on the day of the family conference, he could devote himself entirely to cooking. To Goda, who was originally a chef, this was surely the greatest gala occasion of the whole year. Yes, dinner will be calf steak. A wonderful cut of meat is already anxiously waiting for tonight in the refrigerator. Please be sure to look forward to dinner. It was rare for Goda to be in this good of a mood towards his fellow servants. Goda bragged about being the Ushiromiya family's personal chef, and knowing he was considered worthy to display his excellent cooking at the family conference was his greatest honor. Understood.
任せるのでよろしく頼む。
I will leave everything to you.
あと、熊沢がそちらにいないか。
Also, is Kumasawa there?
熊沢さんですか。
Kumasawa-san?
先ほど見かけましたが、こちらにはおりません。
I happened to see her earlier, but she is not here.
ゲストハウスの方へ準備に行かれたのではないでしょうか。
I happened to see her earlier, but she is not here. Perhaps she went to get things ready in the guest house?
また油を売っているのか。
Is she loafing around again? Probably.
いや、結構だ。
No, it's fine.
では引き続きよろしく頼む。
Please continue with your work.
ええ、万事このゴーダにお任せを。
Yes, leave everything to me, Goda. Goda-san. Genji placed the telephone back on the receiver, sighing lightly. Genji sighed once again, thinking of Kumasawa, who was probably hiding again, even though things were busy. And the ostentatious Goda was who only felt like doing anything on a day where he could show off.
失礼します。
Excuse me.
ゲストハウスの各お部屋の準備が整いました。
The preparations for all the rooms in the guest house are complete.
お嬢様よりお子様方が泊まれるよう4人分の用意をするようにとのご指示を賜りましたが
We received instructions
い
from
か
a
がい
lady
たしましょう
to prepare a room for 4 people so that the children can spend the night together. So, what shall we do?
今年は6年ぶりにバトラー様がお見えになるそうだ。
I hear Battler-sama will be coming for the first time in 6 years.
お嬢様もいとこ4人で夜更かしをされたいのだろう。
Presumably, Milady wants to stay up late into the night with her 3 cousins.
準備するように。
Make the preparations.
奥様にはお伝えしなくてよい。
You do not need to tell, madam.
そうですね。
I see.
かしこまりました。
Certainly.
今夜は深夜勤でそのまま明日は早朝勤か
So tonight we will have the late night shift, followed immediately by the morning shift.
しんどい2日間になりそうだな
It looks like these 2 days will be tiresome.
そういえば、台風が直撃するって天気予報で言っていますね。
Speaking of which, the weather forecast is saying a typhoon will strike in this area.
大丈夫でしょうか。
Will everything be alright?
台風がよほどそれない限り、場合によっては親族の皆様方のお帰りの船に響くだろう。
Assuming the typhoon doesn't stray too far away from its course, it may affect the boat ride back for the family members.
親族会議の日程が月曜か火曜あたりまで長引くかもしれない。
The family conference's schedule might be extended until Monday or Tuesday.
長丁場になるだろうが、皆くれぐれも粗相のないように頼む。
Our task may be long and tiring one, but I earnestly ask that you take care not to make any blunders.
シャノンは焦らぬよう落ち着いて。
Shannon, remain calm and do not panic.
カノンは愛想よくご挨拶をするように。
Kanon, be sure to greet our guests in a sociable manner.
はい、
Yes,
注意します。
I'll be careful.
注意します
I'll be careful.
大切なお客様がお越しになられる日だ。
Today we must conduct ourselves in a manner suitable for a very important guest.
くれぐれも粗相がないように。
See to it that you make no blunders.
心得ています
We understand.
いつだってここには大切なお客様しか
All
訪
guests,
れませんから
all guests who visit here are important.
カノン、
Kanon,
今日は本当の意味で
in the truest sense,
大切なお客様を迎える。
we will be receiving a very important guest today.
心構えを改めるように。
Make sure that you are prepared.
はい
Yes, sir.
シャノン、どうした？
Shannon, is something the matter?
さっきから何かそわそわしているようだが、何か時間の約束でもあるのか？
You seem to be uneasy. Do you have some prior engagement at this time? Funny story about that. Huh? What? Engagement? No, I'm not engaged. You mean, do I have something else? No, I'm not doing anything.
いえ、なんでもありません。
No, it's nothing.
失礼いたしました。
My apologies.
姉さん、
Nason,
今日は大切なお客様がお越しになる日なんだよ。
important guests will be arriving today.
プライベートとは切り離すようにね。
Detach yourself from your private life. Oh, got her
プライベ
ass.
ートなんか知りません。
I don't know what you mean by private life. I'm furniture. What you talking about? Shannon blushed just a bit. She turned her gaze away from the clock. It was about time for the airplane carrying the family to arrive at Nijima. She tried to hide the fact that her upcoming long-awaited reunion with George was making her heart race. But Kanan, who stood beside her, seemed to see right through her.
Shannon, これを黙って受け取ってくれ。
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you to throw away that line. Nope. Shannon, please don't say a word and accept it. Nope. Inside a bathroom stall, George was practicing something over and over, taking out a small velvet box hidden in his pocket like a quick-draw desert gunman.
違うな。
That's not it.
シャノンは牽引力のある男性が好きなんだ。
Shannon likes men who are more assertive. Does she?
もっと馬力がある感じじゃないとダメだ。
I've got to pump it up with more horsepower. I was gonna say that you maybe need to hit the brakes a bit, but
シャノン、これを薬指につけるんだ。
Shannon, put this on your ring finger.
命令だよ。
That's an order, okay? All right, bro, but just no.
ああ、左手とちゃんと言わないと右手にされちゃうかもしれない。
If I don't say properly that it's on the left hand, maybe we should put it on our right hand.
いや、シャノンもそこまでかまととじゃないけど。
No, Shannon isn't that ignorant.
ああ、でも少しは自由意志がないとなんだかその。
But unless there's some room for her to express her free will, that'd be a little. I mean. I too also make noises like that when I'm stressed out. As he crossed his arms, muttering, someone knocked on the door. Georgia snapped back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity.
Oh, George-kun.
Hey, George-kun, I'm not Eminem.
大丈夫か?
You okay?
腹の調子でも悪いのか?
You got a stomachache or something?
ルドルフおじさん。
Rudolph's like, hey, bro, you been hitting the sauce? You got a hangover? hey, Uncle Rudolph.
大丈夫です。平気です。
It's okay. I'm totally fine.
ご心配は無用です。
No need to worry.
そっか?
Really?
ならいいんだけどね。
That's good then.
無理して力みすぎるなよ。
But you know, you're straining way too much.
尻が切れちまうぜ。
Your asshole burst. Rudolph washed his hands, laughing cheerfully as he left. George, realizing that the most embarrassing part hadn't been overheard, relaxed and felt extremely relieved.
キリエ、ローザはまだ来ないのか?
Kirie, isn't Rosa here yet?
まだよ。
Not yet.
遅いわね。
She's pretty late.
天候調整中だからいいようなものを。
It's a good thing the weather's delaying our flight.
これで普段通りのダイヤだったらあいつ乗り遅れちまうぜ。
If the schedule had gone on normally, she would have missed the plane.
そしたらどうする気なんだあいつ。
What she'd plan on doing then?
ローザさんだっていい年の大人よ。
Rosa-san is very much an adult now.
なんとかするわ。
She'll manage it somehow.
兄って人はいくつになっても妹を子供扱いなのね。
No matter how old they get, older brothers always treat their younger sisters like children.
親父だっていくつになっても子供だけどな。
Of course, dad's always a kid, no matter how old he gets.
だと? 俺が子供ならおめえは赤ん坊じゃねえか。
What'd you say? If I'm a kid, that'd make you a baby.
ほれほれ、バトラちゃん。高い高い。
Come on, Battler Chan, up you go.
やめろ、くすぐって。
Stop it. That tickles. Stop.
親子ってより悪ガキ仲間って感じね。
You look more like two bratty friends than a father and son. Sorry, that wasn't at Kyrie. That was at the bratty friends relationship rather than father and son, because it's accurate and man, just.
ほら、いらしたわよ。
Look, she's here. Ooh, it's my favorite guy, Hideyoshi. What's up, man?
ローザさんやないか。
If it isn't Rosa-san.
マリアちゃん、久しぶりやの。
Maria-chan, long time no see.
久しぶり。
Long time no see.
マリア、
Maria,
お久しぶりです。でしょ？
shouldn't that be, it's good to see you again?
言ってごらん。
Greet Hideyoshi-san properly.
お
Ooh,
お久しぶりです。
it's good to see you again.
そうや。
There you go.
よく言えたな。
Well said. Would you like some candy?
ご褒美に。
How about some candy as a reward? Oh yeah, he does say this. I completely forgot about that.
あれ？
Oh, huh?
どこにしまったんや。
Where did I put it?
ローザさん、お久しぶりです。
Rosa-san, it's good to see you again.
マリアちゃんもお久しぶり。
That's so cruel. Rosa-san, it's good to see you again. It's good to see you too, Maria-chan.
ご無沙汰してます、キリエ姉さん、秀吉兄さん。
It's been too long, Kirie-san, Hideyoshi-san.
と、
And
あら、バトラ君？
oh my, Battler-kun.
大きくなったわね。
Look how big you've gotten.
いや
Ah, come on.
今日は会うたびに言われてて恥ずかしいっすよ。
It's embarrassing to hear that from everyone I meet.
おう、ローザ。
Hey, Rosa.
遅かったな。
You're late.
飛行機がダイヤ通りだったらギリギリってとこだったぜ。
If the plane was on time, you'd barely have made it.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
列車の接続がうまくいかなくて。
We had some trouble making our train connection.
何？また天候調査中なの？
So, are we waiting on the weather again?
ぼやかないぼやかない。
No, don't complain.
船で6時間も揺られるくらいなら飛行機でほんの30分の方がずっとマシよ。
I much prefer the 30-minute plane trip to spending 6 hours bouncing about on a boat.
たとえ1時間余計に待たされたって全然早いんだから。
Even if we were kept here waiting for an hour, it's still much faster overall.
あれがマリアなのか。
Is that Maria?
大きくなったな。
You sure have gotten big.
成長期か。
She's at that growing age.
前に会ったのは6年前？
You haven't seen her for 6 years, right?
それは変わるわよ。
Of course she's changed.
女は心変わりがあれば、たった1日でも生まれ変わる生き物よ。
Women are creatures who can be born again in a single day when they have a change of heart. Maria, noticing a big man she didn't recognize mixed in among the relatives, hid behind Rose's back and glared at Battler.
おい、バトラ。挨拶しろい。
Come on, Battler, say hi.
前にやったのが3歳の時じゃ。初対面も同じだぞ。
The last time you met her, she was just 3 years old, so you're practically meeting her for the first time.
3歳じゃ覚えてねえよな。
Yeah, of course she wouldn't remember something that happened when she was 3.
よ、マリア。久しぶり。
Hey, Mario, long time no see. All right, let's try to not make this introduction awkward.
大きくなったな。
You sure have gotten big.
マリア、
Maria,
バトラお兄ちゃんよ。
this is Battler Oni-chan,
ルドルフおじさんの息子さん。
Rudolph Nissan's son.
わかる？
Understand?
おじさんの息子さんが、
The brother's son is...
おじさんが息子さん。
The brother is the son... Huh? She's stressed out now. She was obviously on her guard. After all, it was hardly surprising that she'd be scared if a large guy like Battler suddenly started speaking frankly to her. Battler noticed that as well, as thought of various ways Battler noticed that as well, and thought of various ways he might approach her. Then he spotted the candy she had in her hand. It was the jack-o'-lantern sweet Rosa had bought for her. I see. It's October, so that must be for Halloween. If you don't give me these sweets, I'll play a prank, right? Normally, trying to snatch a sweet away from a small child, will result in them crying and screaming. The adult seemed dubious about Battler's tactics, but Maria looked unexpectedly pleased, her face splitting into a wide grin.
Halloween! Halloween!
Halloween! Halloween! See, Mama, Battler also knows about Halloween. See? Hey, call him Battler Nichan. Learn some fucking manners. Sorry, Battler-kun. No, don't sweat it. I don't really care about honorifics. Please call me Battler. Because I'll be calling you Maria. Look, Maria, it's Halloween. If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank. If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank. From inside her purse, Maria picked out a jack-o'-lantern sweet similar to the ones she had in her hand and presented it to Battler. When Battler accepted it, that seemed to be enough to confirm their friendship. The adults were amazed at how good children can be at getting along with each other. Maria had been throwing a tantrum because she wanted a Halloween festival, so Battler, who knew about trick-or-treating, must have felt like an ally. Her defensive posture from before was completely gone. Now she was all cheery as though they had been friends for decades. That's right. Halloween's a pretty minor event in Japan. You always see people marching in costume parades on the news from overseas, but I've never seen it here. I wanted to wear a costume too. I wanted to say trick or treat with all the cousins wearing costumes. I see. Next time, let's do it together. What would you like to dress up as? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. A witch. Beatrice. There she is. Oh, milady, what are you doing in such a place like this? Madam was looking for you. I'm here because I don't want to be found. Anyway, I'm sure she just wants to scold me like, is your appearance alright? And watch your language. Without a doubt. I don't know why I gave her the Pierre Escargot laugh, but you know. When the day of the family conference comes, I always start thinking about this witch for some reason. Oh? And why might that be? The family conference is the day when everyone related to grandfathers gathers. I hear that this time even Battler is going to be coming after 6 years. What if, just like that, some relative who hasn't shown themselves for several decades suddenly shows up. That's what I'm always thinking about.
そんな親族がおりますでしょうか。
Could a relative like that exist?
ベアトリーチェ様だよ。
I mean Beatrice-sama. Oh.
素性は誰も知らない。
Nobody knows her background.
あるいは大昔のじい様の愛人なのか。
Could she be grandfather's mistress from long ago?
その子孫がひょっこりと現れて、授けた黄金を返せなんて言い出すかもしれないぜ。
What if one of her descendants suddenly appears and tells us to return the gold we were given or something?
クラウス様たちは親方様の遺産問題で今年も議論されるでしょうから。
Kraus-sama and the others will probably discuss the master's inheritance problem this year too.
こうも魔女の黄金の話で盛り上がっては、黄金を与えた魔女本人がそろそろおいでになってもおかしくありませんね。
Once they get so fired up talking about the witch's gold, one could hardly be surprised if that witch herself were to show up, yes?
熊沢さんはさ、
Kumasawa-san.
辞めたり勤めたりと忙しいけど、源氏さん並みに昔からここに出入りしてるわけでしょ。
I guess you keep quitting and getting rehired, but you've been here as long as Genji-san, right?
ベアトリーチェのこともっと知ってるんじゃないの？
You know more about Beatrice, don't you?
さて、
Eh,
どうでしょうね。
who knows?
思い出そうにもこの老いぼれ、今朝の朝食すらも思い出せませんので。
Even if I try to remember, this old woman here can't even recall what she had for breakfast this morning.
熊沢さんはいっつもそういう言い方で逃げるけど、何か知ってそうなんだよな。
Kumasawa-san, you're always dodging with those excuses, but you know something, right?
知ってて物陰で笑ってるみたいな陰湿な雰囲気が時々するぜ。
Sometimes you feel kind of devious, like you know something and you're laughing behind our backs.
これは手厳しい。
That's harsh.
隠し事など何もしておりません。
I don't have any secrets.
私から申し上げられることは、
The only thing I can say is that Beatrice-sama is the golden witch.
ベアトリーチェ様は黄金の魔女であられて、この島の夜を支配されているもう一人の主人であられるということだけでございます。
And that she is the other master who controls the night of this island.
じい様の受け売りかよ。
Okay, now you're just repeating stuff grandfather said.
給料もらってるとはいえ、じい様の妄言に付き合うのも大変だな。
It must be a pain to play along with grandfather's crap even though you get paid for it. Damn. Said you're paid by big
これ
grandfather.
だけは申し上げられます。
Except in that big granddad money. However, I can say this much.
何？
What?
六軒島は太古の昔、小豆島と呼ばれて恐れられてきました。
In ancient times, Rokenjima was feared and called Azukishima.
小豆は悪時期がなまったものと言われ、本当は悪時期島と呼ばれていたのだと、漁民たちの間では伝えられておりました。
The Azuki is said to be a corrupted form of Akujiki, and in fact, it was called Akujikishima. That is what is told among the fishermen.
前にも聞いたよ。
I heard about that before.
この辺は暗礁が多くて海難事故が多かったから、領民たちが恐れてむやみに近づかなかったって話だろ。
Supposedly, there's lots of sunken rocks and shipwrecks around here, so the fishermen got scared and stayed away whenever they could, right?
悪時期島には悪霊が住み着いていて、太古の昔から人々の魂を喰らい続けてきました。
Evil spirits settled down in Akujikishima and have continually eaten the souls of people since ancient times.
この島に関わり、命を奪われた人間はあまりにも多いのです。
Quite a few people lost their lives because of this island.
それを旅の修験者だかなんだかが例の社を作って鎮魂したんで収まったってんじゃなかったっけ？
And then that monk, the traveling Shugenja or whatever, built that shrine, reposed the souls, and settled them there, right?
うさんくせえ話だぜ。
Sounds pretty crazy, though.
その鎮魂の社はこの夏暗き闇を引き裂く紫色の不気味な雷で打ち砕かれたとか。
And that shrine for the repose of souls was destroyed by an eerie violent thunderbolt this summer, which tore up the darkness of the night.
熊沢さんその話好きだな。
Kumasawa-san, you really like those stories.
確かに鎮魂の社が落雷でなくなっちまうなんて不気味だが。
Okay, sure. It'd be pretty crappy if a thunderbolt took out a shrine.
まあ、もともとオンボロだったしな。
But, well, it was all worn out from the start.
ちょっと高い波にでもさらわれたんじゃねえのかな。
Maybe it just got washed away by some big wave.
眠りから目覚めた悪食島の悪霊がベアトリーチェ様を呼び寄せたのです。
The evil spirits of Akujikishima woke from their slumber and summoned Beatrice-sama.
もしベアトリーチェ様が親族会議に訪れられるようなことがあったなら、
If Beatrice-sama happens to pay a visit to the family conference,
あったなら
if she does... Kumasawa fell silent for a moment. Uh-oh, did you spoil? Jessica was pressing her to keep going, so that gap felt strange and eerie. When Kumasawa noticed that she had Jessica plenty scared with her silence, she grinned broadly.
はてさてどんなことになるやら。
Well, now, I wonder what would happen. Whoa, that sounds great, bro. I'm in America, man.
でしょ?
Of course.
たまには優雅な時間を得て、あなたの心を豊かにするのも、あなたの仕事に役に立つんじゃないかしら。
Won't you be able to do better at work if you got a chance to enrich your heart by living the good life every once in a while?
だな。
Yep.
心と財布は豊かじゃなきゃいけねえ。
Can't live right unless both your wallet and your heart are enriched after all. He's right in a way I don't like.
わかったよ。その日は開けておくことにする。
Sure, I'll keep that day open.
予約を頼むぜ。
Go ahead and make reservations.
わかったわ。
Okay.
絶対よ。
Don't even think of missing it.
ああ、よろしく頼む。
Yeah, I'm counting on you.
愛してるぜ、キリエ。
I love you, Kyrie. Nah, I gotta get back to work. Bye. Close enough. After kissing the receiver... Dork. Rudolph hung up. Before his seat, there were several executives with their sleeves rolled up, eagerly awaiting the end of that phone call, and also kind of rolling their eyes in disgust.
すまん、待たせたぜ。
Sorry to keep you waiting.
アメリカから連絡は来たか。
Have we heard anything from the States yet? United States of America?
はい。
Yes.
外線にデイル渡辺弁護士からです。
You have a call from Dale Watanabe, the lawyer.
おつなぎします。
I'll transfer it.
結局のところ、感触はどうなんだ?
On the whole, how's it going? We seem to be on the rise, and you know, if I'm doing futures for 50 years from now, America should be eventually on the decline, and it's 1986, probably around the 40 to 50 year mark.
それがその一つ芳しくないようでして。
Well, there does seem to be one unfortunate matter.
先方は裁判をも辞さないつもりのようです。
It appears the other party has no intentions of withdrawing from the trial.
やっぱりごまかしきれねえかな。
I guess there's no fooling them.
つないでくれ。
Please transfer it here.
わかりました。
Understood.
すぐに。
I'll do that right away. The executive ordered that the external line be transferred to the secretarial office. At once, the phone in front of Rudolph rang.
もしもし。
Hey there.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
お待たせしました。後ろ宮です。
Sorry for the wait. Ushiromiya speaking.
どうもどうも。
Thanks, thanks.
いかがですかそちらは。
How's it going on your end?
Hello, President Ushiromiya.
Hello, President Ushiromiya.
挨拶は抜きで本題に入りましょう。
Let's skip the pleasantries and jump into the main issue. We're only going to say this in Japanese.
いいニュースと悪いニュースがありますが、どちらを先にしますか？
I've got good news and bad news. Which would you like first?
悪いニュースが先がいいな。
Might as well start with the bad.
デザートがないと頑張れないたちなんだ。
I hate fighting when there's no dessert.
わかりました。
Very well.
悪いニュースは先方が当方を告発する準備に入ったということです。
The bad news is that the other party is getting ready to prosecute.
つい先日、類似した裁判で原告が圧勝する判決が出されました。
Just a few days ago, a similar trial resulted in a decision in favor of the plaintiff.
被告側も当方が主張するのとほぼ同じ内容で論戦していたのですが、全てにおいて却下されました。
The defendants were using roughly the same arguments we planned to use, but they were rejected in every case.
残念ながら、このまま法廷に臨めば、当方の主張はことごとく却下される可能性が極めて高いでしょう。
I'm afraid to say it, but if we face the courtroom as we are now, it's extremely likely that each one of our claims will get rejected.
例の裁判、全滅だったか。
So that trial ended up being a total bust after all.
うちより有利な条件だったと思ってたんだが。
And I thought their position was even more solid than ours.
そりゃ辛いな。
That hurts.
で、いいニュースは？
Okay, what about the good news?
先方の幹部と接触できました。
I managed to contact the executive of the other parties.
先方に当方の立ち位置を説明し、
I explained them the situation we're in, told them that we have no intentions of tarnishing their brand's image, and managed to get an understanding.
先方のブランドイメージを侵害する意図がないことを説明し、理解を得ることができました。
They'll send us their terms over the next few days, and if these are carried out, they promise to withdraw their charges.
先方は近日中に条件提示を行い、それらの履行が行われるなら告発を見送ると約束しました。
This is their proposal, according to the number 2 man of their, on their board of directors.
感触は？
Your impression?
取締役会のナンバー2による発言です。
To be honest, I expect their terms will be extremely severe.
正直、非常に厳しいものになると予想されます。
We estimate that changing the company name and the brand name will be inevitable.
当方の想定では避けられないものとして、社名変更、ブランド名変更。
I think we'll be able to earn some leeway by playing with the amount of settlement money, making a public apology in a major newspaper,
交渉の余地のあるものとして、若い金額、大手新聞への謝罪広告掲載、それらの履行期間と見ています。
and carrying all of this out within a reasonable amount of time.
うちに潰れろと一言言やいいのに、周りくどい奴らだぜ。
They sure are making this complicated when they could just tell us to go broke.
先方は近年2代目社長に交代したばかりで、まだ足固めが終わっていません。
They only recently switched to a new president, and their groundwork hasn't been completely laid yet.
当方が徹底抗戦した場合、現社長に失点を与えたい勢力が何らかの利的工作をしかねないと懸念しています。
If we resist until the bitter end, they fear the forces opposing the current president won't hesitate to aid their enemies.
そのため、先方トップも本件を速やかに解決したいという思惑があるようです。
Hence, their big shots want this matter settled as quickly as possible, too.
そのため、迅速な和解のために多少の条件緩和を引き出せる余地も残っているかもしれません。
So we might still have enough leeway to get them to mitigate their terms if it'll lead to a quick settlement.
いずれにせよ、とんでもねえ金が必要になるか。
Either way, are we still looking at a crazy sum of money?
その覚悟は必要です。
You need to be prepared for that.
そして、それでも懲罰的賠償金よりははるかに安いかと。
Even that would be much cheaper than paying punitive damages.
ありがとう先生。
Thank you very much, sir.
また進展があったら連絡してください。
Please contact me if anything new happens.
先生は高級鳥だからヨタ話もできねえ。
We're paying you the big bucks, so no idle chit-chat.
Thank you, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, thank you. Goodbye. Rudolph hung up the phone. The executive sitting in the reception seat seemed to have guessed at the contents of that discussion. You guys hear that? Simply put, they'll forgive us if we can pile up enough money. Now all we've got to do is haggle over the amount of that money. But President, the likely sum of the for the settlement of Mr. Watanabe indicated is too much. How much is too much? We don't have that much of a margin. If we known this would have happened, if we known this would happen, we never would have started diversifying. The calculations were that we could escape a capital crisis if we managed to if we managed to endure for 3 years. To think we'd be stabbed at a time like this, how bad can our luck get? I guess we fell at the step of the hop, step, and jump. It's enough to make you cry. We have no choice but to draw the money from the main bank. Banks are no good. They only bet their money on winners, and we're not winners. We're like losers. The economy is improving, but we can't show weakness to the banks. President, do we have access to any funds that are unaccounted for? Funds we are unaware of. Quit it. Do I look like that kind of man? The contents of my wallet are totally exposed to you guys, okay? The account books over there show all our company has. In that case, we need to raise money. We need a sponsor who can draw in several million for us as soon as possible. President, couldn't something be worked out with one of your personal connections? President! President! Nah, calm down, you bastards. Let me worry about raising the money. You guys just keep the business running without making too much noise. Our accusers are saying they'll let us be if we can show them the money. We've already got thick pipelines in Asia. Things will probably be shaky, but we'll be able to maintain our current deals. Basically, if we just bring the money together, we'll be able to solve all of our problems. Just you watch, I'll fix all of this. I won't leave you out in the cold. Time to start getting your hopes up again. Once this is all behind us, I'll be rewarding all of you guys with a champagne tower, as opposed to a champagne shower. Yes, I was referencing LMFAO. I promise you that. So shut up and follow me. Got it? And then Rudolph jumped on an airplane. The airplane suddenly shook, probably due to turbulence. Rudolph was jostled awake. Oh, wait, hang on, wait. Yes, he is. He woke up early that morning and ended up drifting to sleep while resting in his seat. You okay? Are you sure you aren't still pretty sleepy? After all, it seems you've been really busy with work lately. Being busy with work is nothing to complain about, right? Once I've got nothing left to do, it won't be long before we're out in the cold. Good point.
2人で物乞いすればいいって問題じゃないわよ。
Now that even Battler Kun's back, we'd be looking at worse than just the two of us going around begging.
そうだな。
Yeah.
6年ぶりに家族が揃ったんだからな。
Our family's all together again for the first time in 6 years.
家族水入らずで過ごせるよう課長が頑張らねえとな。
So, the leader of our family's gotta give it his best if we want to spend some time alone together. When he looked out of the window, he saw that the airplane had already started to drop in altitude considerably. The fishing boats, which had only looked like black grains a short while ago, were starting to become clearly recognizable.
親父に土下座してげんこつ一発で1000万借りられるなら1ダースくらいもらっときてえところなんだがな。
If I could prostrate myself before father and get 10 million yen every time he slugged me, I'd do it a dozen times.
さもなきゃとっととお隠れになってくれりゃいいんだが。
Or maybe he could just go and die already.
散々すねをかじって今度は遺産目当てか。
I've always depended heavily on his financial support, and now I'm after his inheritance. Well, maybe this time on the island you'll get your wish.
俺は地獄行きだね。
I'm headed straight to hell. Well, we already knew that.
そりゃこんな俺に親父も会いたくはないだろうよ。
I can hardly complain if father doesn't want to meet the man I've become.
まさか今年も親族会議にお出にならないつもりですかな。
Could it be that once again you do not plan on making an appearance at the family conference? Nandra looked at Kinzo's face, sighing. Kinzo's eyes remained rooted to a strange book on magic.
ハゲタカどもの議論に加わるつもりはない。
I have no intention of joining those vultures in their debate.
好きに我が骨のしゃぶり方でも議論するがよかろう。
They can discuss how they'll suck my bones dry on their own.
実にくだらぬ。
How utterly contemptible.
やれやれ。
My, my.
困ったものですな。
How troublesome. Nandro shook his head slightly. To him, children and grandchildren were lovely things. He believed watching them grow was the only way to truly enjoy old age. So Kizo's words were very saddening to Nanjo.
この部屋を出るべき時が来れば私は姿を現す。
If the time comes for me to leave this room, I will show myself.
あれが姿を未だ現さぬようにな。
Just as she does not show herself yet. When Kinzo raised his face, his gaze pointed at the portrait of the witch, which was respectfully displayed on the wall. Oh. Kinzo's mind didn't dwell for a moment on the fact that today was the family conference where all of his beloved relatives would gather. It was filled only by the face of the witch in the oil painting who never smiled except inside the portrait. Everyone knew that interrupting Kinzo when he talked about Banterichi would trigger his wrath.
私は今日ある儀式を執り行う。
Today I will hold a certain ceremony.
それは何ですかな?
And what might that be?
儀式というよりは博打に近い。
Perhaps it is closer to a gamble than a ceremony.
なぜならリスクを負わぬ魔法に奇跡は宿らぬからだ。
After all, magic without risk can never house a miracle. Nanjo had heard Kinzo say this many times before. You might even call it a pet phrase of Kinzo's. Kinzo apparently believed that magic and miracles could occur if you gambled your own fate with a certain amount of risk and triumphed.
かつて黄金のギャンブラーと言われた金蔵さんが
I wonder what sort of gamble you're making.
いつお迎えが来てもおかしくないそのご老体で一体どんな博打に挑みますやら。
As the man who was once called the Golden Gambler and who's now so old he might pass on at any time.
これは見ものですな。
This should be well worth watching.
なるほど。
I see.
研究を尽くした秘術の儀式も魔法に長けぬお前にかかれば博打呼ばわりか。
So the secret ritual I have developed after much research appears to be nothing more than a gamble to one unversed in magic such as you.
まあいい。
Very well.
奇跡を信じる私が勝てば、
If I have faith in miracles and win,
お前の目には水鏡にしか見えなかったであろう我が研究のすべてがこの日に結実したことをはっきりと理解できるだろう。
you will see clearly on this day, I'll put the lyrics in reverse, that all my research did bear fruit, despite it seeming to be little more than the product of my eccentricity.
お前が勝てば、
If you win,
見たままの通り、いつ迎えが来てもおかしくない年寄りの水鏡に終わるだけだ。
it will all end, just as you have already seen, as nothing more than the eccentricity of an old man who might leave this world at any time. Huh?
一体どんなギャンブルを始めるやら。
Just what sort of gamble could you be planning to take?
あなたの友人としてその賭けに、いや儀式でしたか。
As your friend, that bet, or ceremony as you called it.
その儀式にあなたが勝てるよう心からお祈りするだけです。
I can only pray most sincerely that you achieve victory in it.
感謝する。
Yes, I thank you.
そういえば金蔵さん、
Speaking of which, Kinzo-san,
今年の親族会議には懐かしい客がおられるそうですが。
have you heard that a much longed for guest will be present at the family conference this year?
何？
What? For once, Kinzo reacted to Nanjo's words and turned around.
ほら、ルドルフさんのところのバトラ君です。
He's like, no, I don't give a shit about Battler. That's right, Battler-kun from Rudolph-san's family.
6年ぶりにおいでになるそうじゃありませんか。
I hear he'll be coming after an absence of 6 years.
きっと立派になっていますよ。
I'm sure he's became a splendid boy.
なんだ、バトラか。
Oh, Battler.
6年ぶり程度の客人など懐かしいなどと呼びはせぬ。
I wouldn't call him longed for, a guest who's failed to show up for a mere 6 years. After hearing Battler's name and making a disappointed and ill-humored expression, Kinzo turned his back again.
金蔵さんにとっての6年など、この部屋で研究に没頭すればあっという間のことでしょうからな。
I imagine those 6 years went by in a flash for you, considering how you've immersed yourself in your research in this room.
本当に懐かしい客は。
However, we might actually receive a visit
あるいは訪れるかもしれん。
from a truly longed for guest.
すべてはルーレットの出目次第だ。
Everything depends on the results of the roulette.
すでにルーレットは回り始めている。
The roulette has already started to spin.
ルージュか、ノワールか。
Will it be rouge or noir?
今宵ルーレットがどんな奇跡を見せてくれるのか楽しませてもらおうではないか。
Tonight, let us enjoy ourselves as we see what kind of miracle the roulette will show us.
配当は大きいぞ。
The payoffs are large. How large? I might throw some money in here.
そして負ける気はせぬ。
And I don't intend to lose.
ベアトリーチェよ。我が賭けを受けるがいい。
Beatrice, accept my bet. At that time, the telephone on the table rang. The piercing sound seemed to irritate Kinzo, and he picked up the receiver to preserve the silence as much as he could.
何事か。
What is it?
私は忙しい。
Can't you see I'm busy?
源氏でございます。
Genji speaking.
親族の皆様方が
Everyone has arrived. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, so I have forgotten how quickly they just get here.
だからどうしたというのだ。
What of it?
適当に茶でも出せばよい。
Serve them some tea or something.
かしこまりました。
Certainly. I miss voicing this cranky ass granddad, man.
そのようにいたします。
I will do so. Kinzo hung up the phone rudely. Looking at that, Nanjo sighed yet again and shifted his attention outside the window. As he is now, I doubt Kinzo would pay any heed to any sort of guest. Could any guest possibly make Kinzo come out when the time comes, as he said? Kinzo had a single person in mind, but that was the guest who certainly wouldn't appear. Nanjo stared at the witch of the portrait with her impassive expression, unable to decide whether she was smiling or sad, and then gazed up at the lead-colored sky. So, are all the pieces in place? Shall we line them all up and start a new game? Any objections from you? Nope, none. The witch looked at him and challengingly while elegantly smoking her pipe. And Battler? He just really shrugged his shoulders as if he didn't care what she did. He didn't meet her eyes. He didn't meet her eyes, but that didn't mean he didn't intend to challenge her. It showed his clear determination to never be taken in by this bastard's tricks. It was an expression of his determination to fight. Don't tell me you're jumping into this pit without jumping into this without a plan. I don't even know how you'll make your first move, so I've got no plans or anything. Go ahead and move first. Naturally, I'll do so. How shall I break down your defenses? How many moves will it take to checkmate you? This is where you'll see me at my finest. No matter what moves you come at me with, I won't believe in you. As long as I stand my ground on that point, I won't lose. I think you're gonna need to start believing, buddy. And that means this game's built in a way that makes it impossible for you to win. Perhaps you're right. However, I'm the one who decides how many times we'll hold this game. We'll repeat it over and over again until I win and you acknowledge your defeat. See? Same. In other words, this is torture. An eternal torture that shall continue until you surrender to me. It shall go on endlessly until you acknowledge me in the existence of witches. Then, I'll play your game endlessly, as many times as it takes, until you run out of patience. I've never lost at a test of stubbornness. To be fair, you've had a lot of practice with your stubborn dad, I guess. Oh, did a certain witch plant that idea in your head? Very well. I'm tired of listening to you ramble. Come on, get this started. Then, let us begin. I already know all your moves. A defense doesn't amount to much if the plan behind it is known. Don't think you'll be able to defy me with the same moves. Beatrice. I have just one thing to say before we start.
なんだ
What is it?
お前が何をのたまおうと自由だ。
Go ahead and say whatever you want.
だが、俺が信じるかどうか。
However, whether I believe you
常に
is something
俺が
I'll decide
自分で決める。
for myself.
貴様の魔法がどれほどのものだったとしても、
No matter how impressive this magic of yours
俺の
is,
魂は屈しない。
my soul won't yield to you.
これは俺への拷問だと？
You think this is torture for me?
違うね。
You're wrong.
ならばなんだというのか
Then what else could it be?
これはお前への拷問なのさ。
This is torture for you. You're not locked in here with
お
me.
前がいつ俺に屈し、諦めるか。
So no, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Someday you'll surrender to me and give up.
それまで繰り返される拷問なのさ。
Until then, you'll be tortured over and over again.
面白いかなその例えやよし
How amusing. What an entertaining metaphor.
互いを苛み合う拷問とは実に面白い
Sorry. How amusing. What an entertaining metaphor. Torture where we torment each other. Yes, truly amusing.
さて始めようではないか
Come, shall we begin that torture?
後ろ宮バトラ
You heard her. Alright, you don't have to start up again. The scene's over. Piano? You're epic, don't get me wrong. I don't know what that text bubble was supposed to be. Every year, the relatives visiting Rokkenjima would let out a sigh of admiration at the rose garden that first greeted them. They would stop there to chat about the rose's beauty and how well they were blooming that year. In the midst of all of this, there was a single unhealthy rose. Oh, it's Maria's rose, and Maria became overwhelmed with dejection at its condition. But George used his quick wits, and saying that everything would be fine if they took care of this poor thing, marked it with a candy wrapper and immediately restored Maria's good mood. Then, Battler, with whom she'd been getting along since that morning, started talking about Halloween. This was such a favorite topic of Maria's that she began playing around again energetically. To Maria, that marshmallow jack-o'-lantern candy bought by her mother was probably the greatest sort of treasure. They seemed to have brought several, as she demanded a trick-or-treat for every person she met, giving them candy instead of the other way around.
Maria はどうしてこんなにハロウィンが好きなんだろうな。
I wonder why Maria likes Halloween so much.
日本人には一つ馴染みにくいイベントだと思ってたんだが。
I always figured it was a pretty unfamiliar event for the Japanese.
仮装行列で練り歩く子供のお祭りだからじゃねえのか
Well, it's a kids festival where they get to parade around in costumes, right?
普段と違う格好をしてはしゃぎ合うってのは楽しいぜ
It can be pretty fun. It can be fun to play around in an outfit like It can be fun to play around in an outfit that's different than usual.
多分僕はもう少しディープな理由によるものだと思うな。
I think there's a slightly deeper cause behind it.
何しろ魔女のマリアちゃんだからね。
After all, she is the witch Maria-chan.
そういや、飛行場でもマリアは仮装するなら魔女になりたいって言っていたっけ。
Come to think of it, when we were at the airport, didn't Maria say that if she was going to wear a costume, it'd be a witch?
マリアって魔女が好きなんだ。
Does she like witches?
ええ、大好きよ。
Yes, she loves them.
困ったくらいに。
So much that it becomes a problem.
まあまあ
Hey, it's not so bad.
あのくらいの年頃はファンタジックな存在に憧れるもんですから
You expect kids at that age to love fantastical stuff like that.
せめてテレビアニメのヒロインに憧れるくらいなら可愛いんだけど。
If it was just a heroine on some TV anime, at least it'd be cute. Judging by Rose's appearance, she wasn't very happy about her daughter's love for witches as a mother. The cousins, other than battlers, seemed to realize this, and they shrugged, wearing stiff smiles. Huh?
魔女好きだとハロウィンも好きになるって論法なのか？
So you're arguing that because she likes witches, she also likes Halloween?
わかんなきゃ本人に聞けばいいか。
If we don't know, why don't we just ask her?
おい、マリア。
Hey, Maria!
ハロウィンと魔女って何か関係あるのか？
How are Halloween and witches related? As Bato asked that, George and Jessica let out a stifled as if they were trying to stop him, but too late. Maria might have been waiting for just that question so then she can ramble for the next 20 minutes. Oh, and also get evil. After beaming for an instant, her expression turned a little mean, as if to say, "You're totally clueless, aren't you?" It was the face of a hobbyist who had been ticked off by an outsider saying something stupid about their favorite subject.
ケルト人は1年間を通じてその勢いを変える太陽は
I go back and forth for whether or not this should be the Celts or the Celts. And I feel like Celts is correct. To the Celts, the changing strength of the sun over the course of a year signified
1年を通して生まれ、育ち、老いて死んで、そして再び蘇ると考えていたの。
its birth, its growing up period, its aging and death, and then its revival.
納得だな。
I get it.
春のか弱いポカポカした太陽が
In spring,
どんどん成長して暑いくらいになり
in spring, the weak warm sun starts to grow up and get hot.
次第に痩せ衰えていく様をなるほど太陽の一生と考えるのもうなずけるぜ。
And then it gradually gets weaker and worn out. Sort of makes sense to think of it as the sun living out an entire life. Yes.
だから彼らは10月の最後に太陽は死に、死の国で体を休めて、冬至の日に再び蘇ると考えたの。
This kid is a witch and Halloween savant. So they thought that at the end of October, the sun died, was laid to rest in the land of the dead, and was then revived at the winter solstice.
太陽が1年の生涯を終えて死ぬその日を大晦日サビンと呼んでお祝いしたの。
And the name they gave to the last day of their year, when the sun ended its 1 year lifespan and died, was Samhain, and they celebrated then.
再び日照時間が長くなりだす冬至の日を太陽の復活の日とする考え方はとても面白いよね。
It's an interesting idea to think that the sun is revived on the day of the winter solstice, when the daylight hours start to grow longer again.
古代の人々がいかに太陽を神聖視していたかがわかるエピソードだよ。
It's a case that makes it clear how much the ancients regarded the sun as sacred.
なるほどな。
I see.
んで、それが魔女とどう関係があるんだ？
So, what does this have to do with witches? It seemed that my casual urging forward had slightly infuriated Maria. She glared at me with eyes that told me to shut up while she explained. Maria seemed to be having a blast as she talked, so I decided not to interrupt.
10月と11月の狭間は生と死が最も近くなる。
In the interval between October and November, life and death become the closest they ever will.
ケルト人たちはこの時期に聖者の世界と死者やこの世ならざる者の世界が最も近づき、
The Celts believe... Now I'm starting to think it's the Celts. No, it's the Celts. Believe that during this time, the world of the living grew closer to the world of the dead and otherworldly beings.
異界の住人たちがたくさん訪れると信じてたの。
And many of those living in the other world would come to visit.
日本でいうお盆みたいなものだよ。
It was like the Bon Festival in Japan. At the time, people believed that souls returning to the physical world would go into people's houses or possess people or do bad things. So, in order to avoid harm, they performed rituals. One of those was to imitate creepy monsters and scare of a soul's back, which was apparently a way to avoid being possessed.
その部分がお祭りになっていって仮装行列になってったんだな。
That part became a festival, which turned into a costume parade.
マリアは本当に物知りだぜ。
You really know a lot, don't you, Maria?
ほんまやな。
Ain't it the truth?
わしもハロウィンに備えな言われがあるなんて知らんかったわ。
Even I never knew Halloween had such a history.
しかし それのどこにお菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞってのが出てくるんだ?
But where did that whole trick or treat thing come from? Her knowledge was so extensive that the adults had suddenly started listening in too. Maria, who was normally treated like the youngest all the time, puffed out her chest with pride. Saying that this was just a kids' discussion, Rosa suggested that the adults go on ahead and set their luggage down in the Rosa suggested that the adults go on ahead and set their luggage down in the guest house. But nobody else agreed to go with her, and she let out a heavy sigh. Oh. Trick or treat is just for fun. It has nothing to do with what was originally a Celtic ceremony. That was created later when Christian customs were mixed in. However, I think it's right for Halloween to be that way. According to Maria, the souls of the dead weren't the only ones who visited from the non-human world. There were also spirits with intimate connections to people's everyday lives. Humans could receive favors from those spirits, so they managed to gain magnificent blessings, as well as a year's worth of good crops. So basically, Halloween was also a bit of a harvest festival. I get it.
言われてみりゃ、10月ってのは季節的にもいろいろ節目って気がするぜ。
Now that you mention it, I guess October is a turning point in all kinds of ways, including with the seasons.
日本の4月のちょうど反対側だもんな。
Sort of the opposite of April in Japan.
なるほど。切りはいいかもしれねえな。
Yeah, that might be a good place to market.
そしてね、魔女たちはね、その時期に魔女集会、サバトを開いたの。
And also, the witches hold a witch assembly then, called a Sabbath.
魔女たちは豊かな恵みをもたらしてくれた精霊たちに感謝し、ねぎらったの。
The witches thank the spirits that give out blessings of prosperity and reward them.
ハロウィンの仮装は向こうから来る客人たちの模倣。
Halloween costumes imitate the guests that come from the other side.
つまり彼らにお菓子を施すのは1年の収穫への感謝の気持ちがあってもいいわけだね。
In other words, you might say giving out candy is a way to show gratitude for the yearly harvest. Oh.
ジョージお兄ちゃんの言う通り。
Just like George Onichan says.
つまりハロウィンはこの世とあの世の交流のある時期ってわけなんだな。
So Halloween is a time when those two worlds intermingle.
それで、つまり魔女たちにとってはそういう世界の客人たちと交流できる大切な機会だったと。
In other words, it's the most important chance for witches to intermingle with guests from that world.
そう言いたいわけか?
Is that what you're trying to say? Ooh.
バトラの言う通り。
Just like Battler says.
だからね。
Hey, you know what?
だからね。
You know what?
魔女たちや悪魔たちの力が最も活発で盛んになるのが10月なの。
October is when the power of witches and demons is at its most vigorous and prosperous.
きっとベアトリーチェも来てくれる。
I'm sure Beatrice will come.
そしてね、一緒にマシュマロお菓子食べて、マリアも黄金鏡に連れてってもらうの。
And then we'll eat marshmallows together, marshmallow candies together, and she'll bring me to the Golden Land with her.
一緒に魔法のお歌を歌って、魔法の呪文を習って、魔法陣の書き方を習うの。
We'll sing magical songs together, learn magical spells together, learn how to draw magic circles together.
そしてね、ルーンの秘密を習って、早く早くマリアを立派な魔女にしてもらうの。
We'll learn the secrets of runes and I'll become a great witch really, really quick. Oh, great. Two people. Oh, man. I'm so glad to see these two on the screen together. This will be great. All right, Ava, go ahead. Do your work. My, isn't that wonderful? It's best for kids to have dreams. It's just the worst. By the way, Rosa. How old will Maria be this year again?
Maria.
Maria,
もうそのお話は終わりにしなさい。
that's enough of that. You're embarrassing me in front of my sister.
気にしないでローザさん。
Don't worry about it, Rosa-san. Ava's kind of a bitch.
女の子なら誰だって一度は思い描く夢じゃない。
It's a dream all girls have at one time or another.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much.
でももうマリアはそういう年を卒業していますので。
But Maria has already graduated from that age.
こら、やめなさいと言ってるでしょ。
Hey, I'm telling you to stop. Rosa scolded Maria, trying to shut her up before her cheery discussion about black magic earned her the snickers of the relatives. She got candy? I'm not proud of that joke. Oh?
そいつはなんだかスケールのでかい話だな。
That sounds pretty detailed and impressive.
ところで、ベアトリーチェって誰だっけ？
By the way, who was Beatrice again?
なんだっけ？聞いた名前だな。
I know I've heard that name somewhere before. Beto had been gone for 6 years and had completely forgotten about the legend of the Rokujima witch. However, when he said he didn't know Beatrice's name, Maria's once bright mood soured in an instant. When he saw that, Bato immediately remembered that it was the name of the witch of this island, but the damage had been done. Until Maria's mood improved, she went on and on about many mysterious and fabulous episodes regarding the Golden Witch.
もうよしなさいマリア。
That's enough, Maria.
ありがとうねバトラ君。お話に付き合ってくれて。
Thank you, Battler-kun, for letting her chat with you.
カノン君、お仕事があるんでしょ。
Kana-kun, don't you have work to do?
もう行ってちょうだい。
Please leave now.
ゴーダさん、みんなとりあえず荷物を置きたがってると思うの。
Goda-san, it looks like everyone wants to set down their bags for the time being.
悪いんだけど、みんなをゲストハウスへ案内してくれるかしら。
Sorry, but could you guide everyone to the guest house?
かしこまりました。
Certainly.
それでは皆様、ゲストハウスへご案内いたします。
Well then, everyone, allow me to guide you.
それでは失礼いたします。
Then, if you'll excuse me. Goda led the relatives and they began to head towards the guest house. They were eager to set down their luggage and take a breather, so they didn't realize that Rosa and Maria weren't coming with them. Uh-oh. After watching them leave towards the guest house, Rosa's face changed suddenly. She let go with the hand that had been gripping Maria this whole time. There was a bright red mark there, making it clear how much excessive force she'd been using on Maria's slender arm. Like, worst mother ever. Well, maybe not ever, but, you know, pretty bad. That hand then slapped Maria against the head, pinched her left ear, and lifted.
魔女の話はするなといつも言ってるでしょうが。
Even though I'm always telling you not to talk about witches.
それはママとの約束だといつも言っているでしょ。
Haven't I always said that was our promise together? Are you like actually a witch, Rosa? What's going on? Mama, ouch! Mama, ouch! 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 Ouch!
ハロウィン、ハロウィン、うるさいのよ、あんたは。
You really do like blabbering on about Halloween all the time, don't you?
魔女のお祭り？
A festival for witches?
ケルト人が何よ、黒魔術が何よ、バカじゃないの。
Who cares about the Celts, black magic, and all that idiotic trash?
あんた9歳よ、9歳。
You're 9 years old. 9!
電車であんなに騒ぐから。わざわざ電車降りてまでその蛍光塗料みたいな気持ち悪いお化けマシュマロを買ってやったのよ。
Because of that scene you made in the train, I went to all the trouble of making a stop and buying you those disgusting monster marshmallows that look like they have fluorescent paint on them.
遅刻してまであんたに買ってやったのよ。
I went out of my way to buy it even though it made us late.
あんた、どこまで私の顔を潰せば気が済むのよ。
How much more will you embarrass me before you're satisfied? As Rosa cursed, she twisted Maria's ear up, almost as though she was about to tear it off. An expression of anguish spread across Maria's face while she frantically stood on her tippy toes, trying to soften the pain in that ear. Rosa suddenly grabbed the candy that Maria had been holding. She threw it on the ground and stepped on it over and over. To Maria, it was supposed to be proof of a memory of a brief span of time when her mother had bought something fun for her. But now, that same mother was grinding it into the ground right in front of her. It was as though a brand had never... No. It was as though a brand had been pushed into Maria's eyes, leaving a mark that could never be erased. What's the deal with this disgusting candy? Who eats marshmallow candy anyway? The peeps are disgusting, disgusting! God, you're just the worst, Rosa. It's because you're like that. It's all because you're like that. Disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. As she said that, she struck Maria's head over and over again with her palm. She didn't hit Maria's face, because the red swelling would stand out. Maria closed her eyes tightly, patiently bearing her mother's violence. No, that wasn't quite it. Come back, Mama. Come back, Mama. Save me, Mama. Defeat the bad witch. She kept bearing Rosa's assault, muttering that over and over. Didn't I tell you, Jesus, to stop talking about witches? Why, you? Rosa, tired from hitting her... That is a sentence. Rosa, tired from hitting her daughter, breathed so hard her shoulders shook. Maria grasped her hands together, withstanding it, hoping her mother would return soon. Mama. Come back quickly. Save me, Mama. Beat the bad witch. Fine. Just stay there like that forever. Just stand there, mumbling about witches and Halloween forever. After hurling those words at Maria, Rosa left in the direction of the guest house, leaving Maria behind. Maria, forgetting that it was okay to cry, kept staring down at the jack-o'-lantern candy that had been trampled beyond recognition.
Rosa.
Oh, Rosa, I saw you outside the window doing things to that child of yours. Where were you? I'm sorry. The roses were so wonderful, I just...
Rosa, 早く荷物を置いてこいよ。
Rosa, set your luggage down quickly and come with us. You know, the red color of the roses. I just wanted... Jeez, I'm sorry. She's just a horrible character. We're going to say hi to Aniki. I don't understand how there are people that are infatuated and think, oh, I can fix her. No, you can't fix that.
Maria-chan wa dou shita n ya?
What happened to Maria-chan? Is she still by the flower beds? Yes. It seems she found a rose she likes and insisted that she take care of it, refusing to listen. I decided to let her do what she wants for a while. We sometimes forget that girls have their own little world. Sometimes we have to respect that, right? That's right. Thanks for your concern, Kirie-san. Goda-san. Where is our room?
こちらでございます。
I will guide you this way.
お荷物をお持ちいたしましょう。
Allow me to hold your luggage.
結構よ。自分で持てます。ありがとう。
I'll be fine. I can carry it myself, thank you. Rosa went into her room, guided by Goda. She then closed the door somewhat violently and threw her luggage on top of the bed. She got down on her knees in front of the bed, burying her face in it. For a while, Rosa made as if to shred the sheets with her fingernails, sobbing constantly. Maria-sama. Are you alright? Kanon appeared from behind a thicket after watching Rosa leave. Yeah, I think she's fine, you know, in a sense of the word. Not a sense of the word I would use, but, you know. I'm fine. Maria gave a creepy laugh, but to Kanon, who had seen the whole thing, it looked like she was enduring as best she could. Understatement. She's a horrible person. I can't believe she's a mother. It can't be helped. You can't expect anything better than that to enter a container of that level. I'm just fine. Kanon got down on his knees and picked up the trampled candy. It was tragic just looking at it. He thought about dusting it off and returning it to her, but really couldn't do so with it in that condition. Just as he was wondering what to do, he met Maria's gaze. No, that wasn't quite right. Maria was looking at the candy Kanon picked up. Right now, Maria's heart was surely the same as the candy that had been trampled into a pulp. Kanon realized this, but didn't know what he should do. That's right. I'll exchange it for the one I received earlier. Oh. Kanon remembered that a similar candy he received from Maria was in his pocket. Maria stuck out her hand. Kanon thought she was trying to take it, so he held out the candy, but Maria didn't try to grasp it. Then Kanon realized she was saying, "Give it back." No matter how tragic and trampled it was, this candy was Maria's. Her mother had bought it for her. No matter how tragic, it had to be this candy and no other. If only it were intact enough that it could be fixed by dusting it off. Kanon hung his head. Dusting it off is the most I can do. I'm sorry. Kanon held out the miserable-looking candy Maria wanted. She took it and spoke. Thank you. A human can't do anything except dust it off, but a witch can restore it to how it once was. Maybe a Beatrice? You got any of those? It would be easy for Beatrice. Maria-sama. Do you know about Beatrice? Sama? Except for Battler, there was no way anyone related to the Ushiromiya family could have failed to know Beatrice's name. But just now, Maria had bragged about Beatrice to Battler. She had spoken almost as though she was meeting with Beatrice regularly. Kanon felt a sharp pain inside his left hand, which was curled into a fist. In the past, the witch called Beatrice had appeared to tempt him and Shannon. He'd always tried to think of it as a bad dream. However, Shannon insisted that it definitely was a real witch. And then this summer, the shrine to the local Shinto god was hit by lightning, disappearing without a trace over the span of a single night. He knew about Shannon breaking that mirror, and he remembered that, as the witch departed, she said she'd eventually be revived. And now, this girl who believed absolutely in Beatrice spoke as though she had met Beatrice herself. Kanan couldn't suppress a vague sense of foreboding welling up in his heart. For a while, Maria remained silent as though she could see into Kanan's heart, almost as though she was waiting for a memory of Beatrice to be revived, and then she spoke as though it was fact.
マリアはね、ベアトリーチェとお友達なの。
You know, I'm friends with Beatrice.
今日だって会って一緒に遊ぶよ。
I'm even gonna meet her today and play.
遊びますか?
You're going to play?
うん。
Yeah,
遊ぶよ。
of course we'll play.
一緒にね、魔法のお勉強をするの。
We're gonna study magic together. The fact of that witch whom Kanan had tried to pretend was a bad dream began to slowly creep into the back of his mind. Do, 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 do.
お父様は研究で大変ご多忙と仰せです。
Father says he's extremely busy with his research, so he's not coming
残念
downstairs.
ながらこちらへはおいでになれないとのことです。
Yep, there it is. Unfortunately, it seems he'll be unable to come down.
やれやれ。
Come on.
こちとら秋の大忙しの中、日程をつけて、はるばる六軒島まで来てるんだぜ。
We put this conference in our schedules and come all the way out to Rokenjima during this crazy busy fall season.
親父も少しは愛想を良くしてもらいたいもんだぜ。
You'd think Dad could at least be a bit more sociable.
本当よね。
Yeah, seriously.
南條先生。
Dr. Nanjo,
本当に研究や機嫌の問題なの？
is it really his research and his mood that are the problem?
ベッドから起き上がれないくらいに容体が悪いって言うんじゃないの？
He isn't already bedridden, unable to get up, right?
さて、どうでしょうかな。
Well, I wonder.
私の口からは何とも。
There is not much I can say. Nanjo glanced at Natsuhi. It seemed he thought it wasn't his place to speak without first getting Natsuhi's approval.
お父様はますますにご健康でいらっしゃいます。
Father's state of health is better than ever.
寝たきりなどと失礼極まりない。
It would be exceedingly rude to call him bedridden.
でも余命3ヶ月なんでしょ？
But he only has 3 months to live, right?
普通に考えれば痩せ衰えてベッドからも起きられないはずよ。
Normally, wouldn't you expect him to be wasted away, unable to get out of bed?
でしょ、南條先生。
Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo?
波の患者ならそうでしょうがな。
For a normal patient, that would probably be the case, but, you know, Kinzo, he just built different.
金蔵さんは並外れた気力をお持ちです。
But Kinzo-san has extraordinary willpower.
あの気迫にお迎えも恐れて近寄れないのかもしれませんが。
Perhaps that willpower has frightened even the Reaper away.
それほどまでにお元気なら少なくとも安心ね。
Well, if he's that energetic, then I guess we have little to worry about for the near future, right?
そこまで元気なら、せめて挨拶くらいはさせてほしいもんなんだがね。
Though, if he's got that much spunk, I wish he'd at least come to greet
親
us.
族会議ってのは、親父の顔を見に来たって意味なんだぜ。
Isn't the whole point of this family conference to come and see Dad's face?
これじゃ、何のために来たのかわからねえぜ。
I'm not even sure why we came now.
そう言うな。
Don't say that.
いればいたで、心が休まらないといつもぼやくのだろうが。
If he were here, you'd complain the whole time about being unable to relax.
兄弟一同水入らずで今年も全員欠けることなく集まれたことを喜ぼうじゃないかね。
Shouldn't we celebrate the fact that all of us siblings have gathered this year to spend some time alone?
昨年の親族会議でも会えなかったのよ。
We didn't get to see him at last year's family conference either, right?
血を分けた子供たちが2年ぶりに挨拶したいというのがどうして理解してもらえないのかしら。
Can't you understand why his blood children might want to see him after 2 years?
挨拶の言葉があるのでしたら、私どもがお伝えします。
If there's anything you'd like to say in greeting, I will tell him for you.
それともエヴァさん
Or Eva-san?
何かお父様にお会いして挨拶以上のお話でもあられるのですか
Is there something you'd like to discuss with father beyond merely greeting him?
いやね、何の話よもう。
Come on, what are you talking about? Sheesh.
予算か、エヴァ。
Give it a rest, Eva.
夏井さん、堪忍な。
Nazi-san, forgive us.
エヴァも娘としてお父さんの病状が不安なだけなんや。
Ava's just worried about father's condition as his daughter.
ちょいと気持ちを汲み取ってな。
Please, try and understand how she feels.
その通りだな。
Indeed.
エヴァは親父殿が余命を宣告されてから急に親孝行をするようになったじゃないか。
Look how quickly you've grown to respect father now that you know how much longer he has to live.
なるほど。その姿をぜひ見てもらいたいという気持ちもわからなくない。
Yes, I believe I do understand why you want to see him so much.
何が言いたいのよ。
What are you trying to say?
よせよ、姉貴。
Quit it, Aniki.
晩飯までには機嫌を直してくれるよう祈ろうじゃねえか。
Why don't we pray that his mood will improve by dinner?
それに俺たちは到着したばかり。
Anyway, we've only just arrived.
まずは軽く挨拶に訪れただけだぜ。
For now, we're only here for a casual greeting.
親族会議は親父抜きだってできる。
And we could even hold a family conference without Dad.
いや、兄弟で意見を統一してからじゃなきゃ話せねえことだっていろいろあるはずだぜ。
In fact, there's a few things we siblings shouldn't bring to him until we formed a unified opinion.
な、秀吉兄さん。
Isn't that right, Hideyoshi-san?
そうや。
Yep.
ルドルフ君の言う通りや。
Just as Rudolph-kun says.
わしらが全員顔を揃えるのは年に一度しかない。
This is the only time of year we can all meet in person.
貴重な時間を大事にし、汚ない話し合いをせんといかん。
We've got to take this valuable time seriously and be frank with each other. Even though the tea hadn't yet arrived, they were very determined.
でも、その前に本家の素晴らしい調度品に囲まれた客間で。
But before that, perhaps we can spare the time to enjoy some black tea at our leisure.
のんびりと紅茶を楽しむ
Turned British for a second. Surrounded by the wonderful furnishings of the parlor. Kyrie's words seemed to contain a subtle admonition directed at everyone gathered there. They all understood, and as they cleared their throats and straightened their neckties, the atmosphere in the room returned to normal for a time. Excuse me. I bought some tea.
Yo, Shannon-chan!
Hey, Shannon-chan!
ますますべっぴんさんになったな!
You just keep getting prettier and prettier. It's gonna be wild, but my son's gonna have a thing for you. I mean, I don't think Hideyoshi knows that. Well, no, Hideyoshi wouldn't know that, but still funny. Shannon entered the parlor, pushing the serving carts. Everyone decided to relax and enjoy some black tea for the time being. A wonderful aroma began to spread throughout the room. As far as anyone could see, the strained atmosphere from before Shannon's arrival seemed like a lie. Of course, Shannon, who was also setting out the tea, probably didn't even notice. Kyrie seemed to laugh faintly. At how adult everyone was suddenly acting. Rudolph didn't like it when Kyrie took the initiative and spoke at the family conference. It was his worthless male pride. He probably didn't want to look like a weak man who took advice from his wife. She understood that and did her best to refrain from saying any more than was necessary. So she separated herself from the circle of siblings who only superficially appeared to be enjoying some tea together alone and casually drank her tea near the window. Oh, Rosa-san. I thought you siblings were enjoying some alone time. You must be joking. Sorry.
気を悪くしないで。
Sorry, don't take it the wrong way.
うちの夫に呆れてるだけだから。
I'm just a little exasperated by my husband. Apparently, Rosa hadn't been able to keep up with that on-the-surface friendliness. They come here to fight bloodily and dirtily, each trying to grab a part of the inheritance for themselves. She probably didn't like suddenly pretending that they were all chummy. Or maybe she was still too immature for that.
だいぶ風が出てきているようですね。
It looks like the wind started blowing hard out there.
枝葉があんなに揺れて。
The plants are all shaking so much.
もう台風が近くまで来ているのでしょうね。
The typhoon's probably gotten pretty close already.
今夜あたりからはだいぶ降るのかしら。
I wonder if we'll see a lot of rain tonight.
マリアちゃん、この1年でずいぶん立派になりましたね。
Maria-chan really has grown a lot this past year.
そう見えます。
Does it look that way?
未だに自分のお洋服を畳むことすらできないんですよ。
She still can't even fold her own clothing yet.
ええ。
No, it's true.
こんなにも愛情たっぷりなお母さんと一緒なんですもの。
It's because she is such an affectionate mother.
心の豊かな子に成長しますよ。
She'll grow into a girl with a rich heart. Rosa fell silent. Maybe she was unsure as to what Kyrie meant by that, because she's so used to Ava being so rude. I'm a failure as a mother. Well, I mean, that part is true. Children don't get to choose their parents. So you do understand. That poor girl.
お互い様じゃないですか。
Doesn't that go both ways?
親だって生まれる子は選べない。
A parent can't choose what kind of child they have either. Rosa bit her lower lip.
どちらが悪いとかじゃなくて。
This isn't a matter of assigning blame.
一緒に生きていくんだという気持ちで、ゆっくり成長を見守ってあげればいいじゃないですか。
Isn't it enough that you take your time and watch over her as she grows, conscious of the fact that you'll be living together?
ローザさんは毎日をマリアちゃんと過ごしてるから、小さな変化に気づかないかもしれないけれど。
You spend every day with Maria-chan, so you probably don't notice the small
1
changes.
年ぶりに再会した私たちには、その大きな成長ぶりがよくわかりますよ。
But the rest of us who haven't seen her for a year can see clearly how much she's grown.
もし本気で言ってくれてるならありがとうございます。
If you really mean that, thank you very much.
それでは失礼いたします。
Then if you'll excuse me,
ご用がありましたらいつでもお呼びつけください。
if there's anything you desire, please call for it at any time. Shannon bowed politely and left the room. As Hideyoshi and Rudolph, who had a soft spot for women, watched her go, I don't know. Rudolph, Hideyoshi, it's just like, I'm just, you're growing up. You look so cute. Rudolph, I don't know. Rudolph might, no. Rudolph, don't look in that direction, please. The atmosphere in the room began to revert back to what it had been right before Shannon's visit. Oh, okay. Never mind.
お父様がいらっしゃられないなら、それはそれでできる話もあるというものよ。
If Father can't come down, well, that does still leave us with certain things we can discuss.
ねえ、ルドルフ。
Right, Rudolph?
ああ、そうだね。
Yeah, that's right.
俺たちははるばるここまで埃の匂いがする紅茶を飲みに来たわけじゃねえぜ。
We didn't come all the way out here just to drink some dusty tea, right? Damn, you called the tea dusty.
よかろう。
Very well.
1秒を争ってお前たちがしたいという話を聞こうじゃないか。
What does this matter that you're clearly so eager to discuss?
やれやれ。
My.
たくましい人たちね。
Those people really are determined.
早速始めたわ。
They certainly got started quick.
私も加わらないといけないわ。
I need to join in too.
あの人たち、私が主張しないと4人兄弟であることをすぐ忘れるから。
If I don't assert myself, those people will quickly forget that there are 4 siblings.
あなたも大変ね。
Sounds like you got it pretty tough yourself.
ちょっと言葉を選ばなかったかしら。
Maybe I spoke too harshly.
ごめんなさい。
Forgive me.
ううん、気にしてません。
No, I don't mind.
こちらこそごめんなさい。
I'm the one who should be apologizing.
私たち互いに娘を持つ母親同士なんだから、
As a pair of
交流しなきゃいけないのに。
As a pair of mothers with daughters, we should talk more often. Oh yeah, the other one that she has, right?
いつも会えば変な話ばかりで。
Every time we meet, we end up talking about something shady.
この屋敷の空気のせいよ。
You can blame the atmosphere in this mansion for that.
ここの空気を嗅ぐと、いつも私たちはギスギスし合ってるもの。
Once you breathe in this air, everyone gets so strained.
ローザさんとは親族会議じゃない席で、一度ゆっくりお茶でも飲みたいわ。
Just once, I'd like to have a nice long cup of tea with you when we aren't attending a family conference.
銀座に行きつけの素敵な喫茶店があるの。
There's a wonderful coffee shop in there's a wonderful coffee shop in Ginza that's a favorite of mine.
ぜひ今度招待させて。
Please, let me invite you sometime soon.
ありがとう、キリエさん。
Thank you, Kirie-san.
その時はぜひ。
That sounds great.
いやーね。
Oh no.
急に空が暗くなってきたわ。
The sky's gotten dark pretty fast.
まるでこの部屋の人たちが天気を悪くしてるみたい。
I can almost believe the people in this room made the weather worse.
もうゴロゴロ鳴ってるわ。
There's already thunder.
あら、
Oh,
ぽつりと来たかしら。
was that one there? Huh? There really were small splashes of rain on the glass of the parlor window. The weather seemed to worsen faster than expected. Oh, and your child's outside. You might want to get her. Just then, a silent thunderbolt struck inside of Rose's head, and she remembered that her beloved child was out in the rose garden. Okay, good. All right. I'm sorry. I got ahead of you, Rosa. My bad. A normal girl would try to go inside if the weather got bad. But Maria was built different. She would sometimes get stubborn and refuse to move if rain or even spears fell from the sky. That's right. I told that child to just stay there doing that forever, didn't I? Oh no. Maria. Everyone looked back at Rosa when she let out a small scream.
なんだ、どうしたんだね。
What? What is it?
ごめんなさい。ちょっと表に行ってきます。
I'm sorry. I'm going outside for a second.
すぐ戻ります。
I'll be right back.
なんだ、どうしたってんだ、あいつ。
What the? Seriously, what's going on with her?
いいじゃない。すぐ戻るわよ。
Don't worry, she'll be back soon.
それより始めたら？
More importantly, shouldn't we begin?
私たちの本題。
Our main topic.
そうね。
That's right.
ローザ抜きでも進められる話よ。
We can keep talking about that without Rosa.
話を戻しましょう。
Let's return to our discussion. Rosa dashed from the entrance hall into the rose garden. When she opened the door, the wind that hit her was too strong to be called a light breeze, and told her that the typhoon was approaching faster than she thought. Just as Kirie had said, the wind was mixed in with small droplets of rain. There was also a low rumble of thunder. It could start raining any time. Rosa headed for the rose garden. She headed for the place where she had scolded Maria a short while ago. It was almost lunchtime. The children had been told to come to the mansion around lunchtime, so they were probably in the guest house waiting to be called. Even if Maria didn't come to them, they would surely think I took her to the mansion with me and wouldn't worry much. After all, she had been with her mother, so there should have been no reason to worry. I was here, and I abandoned my daughter to the worsening weather. Maria, are you there? If you're there, answer me. Oh, I was right. She was still there. She was still standing, stock still, exactly the same way she had been in the place where I had scolded her. Held in her hand was the candy that I had bought, given her, and then stepped on and crushed. With that gripped in her hand, she stood there as the powerful winds whipped her hair about, tormenting her. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Maria. Forgive Mama.
Mama, おかえり。
Mama, welcome back.
マリア、ママが帰ってくるのずっと待ってた。
I waited a long time for you to come back.
怖い魔女につねられたけど我慢してママが帰ってくるの泣かずに待ってた。
The scary witch pinched me, but I stayed strong, waiting for Mama to come back without crying. Maria. Forgive your mama. Forgive your mama.
ママは悪くないの。
You didn't do anything wrong.
また悪い魔女に取りつかれただけなの。
You were just possessed by a bad witch again.
だから平気。
So I'm fine.
ママ大好き。
I really like you, Mama.
愛してる。
I love you. Man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive your mama for losing to the bad witch. Rosa buried her face in Maria's small chest, crying and begging forgiveness. And once again, those tears dripped down after who knows how many times. If only the brilliant sun had been shining on the two of them, all of their cares would have evaporated, and it might have felt like they could begin anew. However, what surrounded the two of them was the worsening weather. Sadly, there were only fierce winds with occasional thunder. The sound of Maria sniffling brought Rosa to her senses. If Maria stood exposed to the wind for too long, she'd probably catch a cold. Okay, Maria. It's almost time for lunch. Why don't you come back to the mansion with me? She's like, no, I'm gonna stay here. Oh. Won't go. Well, why not? Rosa thought she had already received Maria's forgiveness, so she hadn't imagined Maria would refuse. But that expression on Maria's face didn't look like that of a child resisting her mother. So Rosa couldn't understand why Maria wanted to stand still pointlessly as the weather grew even worse. Maria answered that question. It's Beatrice. She'll be here really soon. So I'm waiting. Maria. Rosa struggled to find words for a moment, then fell silent. They'd only just managed to make up after all. She chose her words carefully, trying to get Maria to come with her to the mansion without denying the witch outright. Beatrice is coming. Ooh. Really? Then, instead of waiting here, why don't we wait in the mansion? If you wait in this wind too long, you'll catch a cold. She'll come. Beatrice will come. And when she does, I'll give her candy. I'll do trick or treat. I'll give her a jack-o'-lantern marshmallow candy and say, Happy Halloween! Maria pulled yet another sweet out of her handbag, moaning, ooh. Rosa was bewildered and didn't know what to do, as Maria started being difficult again. At that time, there was a sudden blast of thunder. It was probably a sign that this island had been sealed off by the storm, detached from common sense and reality. Okay, never mind. I apparently got ahead of the closing off of... Well, I mean, I should have recognized that early on when they weren't at the island yet. So after this moment, all common sense would probably cease to apply. The wind blew even stronger, and amidst that blizzard of scattered rose petals, a figure appeared, leaving Rosa unable to imagine that this was a scene from reality. It was probably No, definitely fantastical. After all, that shadow of a person was... And now she's got a school uniform on, sure. Beatrice! Maria dashed over to the shadow. Normally, Rosa would scold her daughter if she dashed up to someone whom she hadn't seen before and didn't know. But Rosa forgot to do that and wasn't able to do anything but stand there stunned. It's been quite some time. Have you been well? Ooh. I've been well. Witches don't catch colds. Ooh.
魔女は呪いにて風邪をひかせはするが、自らがひいては何とも間抜けな話よ。
Indeed, a witch can use curses to make people catch colds, but how foolish would it be if she caught one herself?
せいぜい自らが風邪をひくことなどないよ。これからも精進するがいい。
From now on, you should take care not to catch something like a cold yourself. She patted Maria's head as she said this, smiling roguishly. Rosa couldn't have known the name of the woman who was happily spoiling Maria. However, Maria had called it out in the beginning when the woman appeared. So even though Rosa had never met her, even though the woman still hadn't introduced herself, Rosa was able to know her name. However, that name had a special meaning on Rokenjima and in the Ushiromiya family. There's no way something that stupid could be... Beatrice! Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween! Look at what we bought! I'll give you one too, Beatrice. Ooh.
Happy Halloween.
Indeed. Happy Halloween.
Oh, これをわらわにとな。
Oh, is this for me?
天国にも地獄にも行けず、煉獄の闇にてさまよう男の唯一の明かりも。
How truly
こうして歌詞となれば実に可愛らしいことよ。
How truly adorable that a candy would be made out of this. The lonely light of a man lost in the darkness of purgatory, unable to go to heaven or hell.
人の世とも、人ならざる者との世とも切り離された今のこの島で。
Right now, on this island that has been cut off both from the world of humans and the world of
これ
non-humans,
ほどふさわしい歌詞はないかもしれぬな。
there may be no more suitable sweet.
ん？マリア、それはどうしたのか？
Maria, what's wrong with that one? The witch noticed the sweet Maria was grasping. It was Maria's candy, which had been stomped on by Rosa until it reached its pitiful state. Oh. It got stepped on, smashed. Can you fix it, Beto? Maria didn't go so far as to say that it was her mother who stepped on it. However, for some reason, when the witch saw that candy, she looked at Rosa and grinned. A chill went down Rosa's spine as though this gaze was staring straight through her. It shall be easy. Give it to me. Maria held the candy out gleefully. Rosa could do nothing but watch stunned. How did this person plan to trick Maria, somehow undoing the fact that the candy had been pitifully trampled? Maria looked as though she believed it could be fixed good as new. Without real magic, there was no way there was no way such a thing could be possible. My, it is quite crushed, isn't it? Come, Maria. Close your eyes and try to remember. Because it really was that wonderful a candy. The candy of your memories is always full and fluffy. So, you try to remember as well. What kind of candy was it really? Along with those strange words, spoken as though singing an improvised folk song, the witch threw the sweet into the air. Maria was closing her eyes and remembering just as the witch had told her to. What shape had that crushed candy really had? Therefore, only Rosa saw that scene. The sweet that had been thrown into the air burst into a gold color. No, that wasn't it. Those were golden butterflies. It scattered into several golden butterflies, and they began to gather at the witch's hand, which was held up to the sky. And as she did this, unbelievably, it returned to its beautiful original form, no different from when it had been bought. Only Rosa and the witch witnessed that scene. Unable to comprehend what was occurring right before her eyes, Rosa stood with her mouth hanging open, completely forgetting to shut it. You may now open your eyes. Take it. With this, your sweet has returned to normal. Beatrice is always incredible, incredible. There was a stark contrast between Rosa's shock and Maria's innocent joy. Was that what the witch was laughing at? A smile floated to Beatrice's face, one different from the smile she'd shown Maria. Does my face seem familiar? If you stare so fixedly, you might burn a hole through it. I'm sorry. Those words triggered something very clearly in Rosa's mind. Rosa knew this face. She knew it from the portrait of the witch. But no, wait. Could this mystery woman really be? Maria, I give you this in exchange for the sweet you gave me. Oh, a letter. The witch pulled a western envelope from her pocket and gave it to Maria. However, when Maria made to open it, the witch stopped her. You must not. The time will soon come for you to open it, but until then, you absolutely must not. Take good care of it. That will be your invitation to the Golden Land. The Golden Land. So you'll finally take me there. Take it and treat it with care. You must not show it to anyone. Ooh. I'll keep that promise. You've always got to keep promises. Witches, who said that? And this is for you. It's a lump of coal. Huh? Me? She probably hadn't imagined that the witch would speak to her too. Rosa was bewildered by the second western envelope, which was thrust before her. She'd seen this type of envelope before. There could be no mistake. It was one of Kinzo's special envelopes used when he wrote with his own hand and bearing the Ushiromiya family crest. It was sealed with red sealing wax. And furthermore, it had a mark that seemed to have been made by the head's ring. In other words, even without asking what was inside this letter, Rosa knew that this woman, whom Maria called Beatrice, was trusted enough to be placed in charge of a personal letter of the current Ushiromiya head. It could have been any four of the siblings. Any of the four siblings. However, the fact that I have met you here probably means that you were chosen by Kinzo's roulette. So, take it. Then read its contents aloud while seated at the dinner table when all the siblings are gathered. What did you say? Rosa looked back and forth several times between the witch's face and the envelope that had been handed to her. Today was the family conference, and the biggest object of discussion would be the inheritance problem, so she had joined together with Ava and Rudolph, and they planned to force a certain condition on Kraus to try and extort several 100 million yen in cash out of him. It was as if the witch could see through all of that. What does she intend to announce when all of the siblings are gathered? And with a personal envelope that no one but the Ushiromiya head can use, Maria, the weather is getting worse. Return to the guest house and wait for lunchtime. And Rosa, we will meet again later. Allow me to introduce myself again at that time. The witch turned her back to her laughing. Then she began to head towards the mansion with an air of composure. Maria energetically called out and watched her go, then began to dash towards the guest house, leaving Rosa behind, as though she wanted to inform the other cousins of her fortunate meeting with the witch as soon as she could. At last, Rosa was left alone in the rose garden as the winds grew stronger, unable to do anything but pray that what had happened was just a daydream. When the witch reached the entrance hall, Genji could be seen there. Genji welcomed the guest approaching from the entrance hall with a respectful bow. I have been waiting. Beatrice-sama. Uh-oh, new character unlocked. Beatrice, the mysterious visitor, a 19th person who appeared on the day of the family conference. Aha! There is a 19th person. She goes by the same name as the golden witch who gave the gold to Kinzo. Her reasons for visiting are unknown. She was ushered into the VIP room, which no one has been allowed to use in the past. I like her socks. The knee-high socks are just what a great touch. It's been quite some time, Genji. You've gotten old. No matter how old it becomes, furniture carries out its work like furniture until the end. I remember how that man's wife used to be jealous of you. Is Kinzo doing well? He is doing extremely well. The witch probably laughed because she knew Kinzo's own doctor had announced that Kinzo didn't have long to live. However, if anyone actually looked at Kinzo and noticed his vigor, which wasn't at all what you'd expect from someone nearing the end of his life, they might easily call that doing extremely well. Maybe that's what the witch was laughing at. Then let us go and greet him. I look forward to hurling curses at each other after 30 years. As the witch grinned, she started walking, leaving Genji behind. Her gait was like that of a family member who knew the inside of the mansion well. Genji followed her in the manner of one who served her. At that time, Kyrie came out of the parlor. Uh-oh. She's probably gone out to fix her makeup or something. And when she saw Genji following a witch, she was surprised, although her expression did not change. I guess for Kinzo had arrived, despite him being almost dead, on the day of the family conference when the fate of the inheritance was to be decided. And furthermore, this person was familiar enough with the Ushiromiya family household that Genji was following behind her. Kirie immediately realized that this person she'd never met before, was deeply important. Kirie and the witch's eyes met. Realizing that it would be rude to pretend not to notice, she greeted the witch.
はじめまして。
It's a pleasure to meet you.
ルドルフの5歳だったか。
You were Rudolph's second wife, yes?
さようでございます。
Correct.
ルドルフ様の今の奥方様であられます。
This
キリエ様でございます。
This is Kirie-sama, Rudolph-sama's current wife. Will we ever meet the first wife? Who knows? From this exchange, Kirie realized that this was a guest of fairly high rank, even amidst the Ushiromiya family. And the fact that this was a guest on that level, coupled with her resemblance to the portrait in the entrance hall, made Kirie's... Ooh, excuse me. Made Kirie's eyes instantly open wide. Oh, we get a portrait change. Well, look at that. Pleased to meet you.
キリエと申します。
I'm Kirie.
初対面でしょうか。
I wonder if this is our first meeting.
もし以前に挨拶をしていたなら、名前を忘れてしまって申し訳ございません。
If we have met before, I apologize for forgetting your name.
うすうすは想像がついているくせに、わらわにあえて名乗らそうというのか。
So smug. So, you intend to force me to state my name even though you already have a vague idea of the answer. I'm with Kirie. Kirie thought she'd given a sociable and humble greeting. Her expression grew slightly cloudy at that openly oppressive response. At any rate, this didn't seem to be the kind of person she could grow to like. But if Kirie's guesses were correct, this witch probably had a vital key to what her own husband was most interested in. Something that couldn't help but influence tonight's family conference. So, without shooting back a retort, Kirie silently watched her go up the stairs to the second floor with Genji following behind. So, when someone tapped her shoulder from behind, she was so surprised she almost choked. It was Natsuhi.
Kirie-san?
Kirie-san?
このようなところに立ち尽くして。
Kirie, she's talking to Kirie-san. I thought Natsuhi had tapped Beatrice, and I was like, oh. Kirie-san, why are you standing still in a place like this?
いかがなさいましたか?
Are you not feeling well?
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
ちょっと魔女の肖像画に見とれていただけです。
I was just fascinated by the portrait of the witch for a bit. I swore it just changed.
黄金の魔女、ベアトリーチェですか?
Oh, you mean the golden witch, Beatrice.
今日の後宮家の復興は、彼女が授けた黄金がなければ成し遂げられなかったとか。
The one whose gold was supposedly necessary for the revived Ushiromiya family we see today.
お父様らしい幻想的なお話ですね。
Quite a fantastical story, just what one might expect from father. Natsuhi spoke in a perfectly ordinary way. It was the sort of comment you'd expect from someone convinced that the thought of a witch existing was ridiculous, no more than another of Kinzo's ramblings. However, for some reason, that point of view didn't seem quite right to Kirie now. Just a moment ago, she herself had seen the Golden Witch come in from the entrance hall and climb up the stairs. So Natsuhi's words made it feel as though someone was trying to deny the existence of that person, or else make it seem like she was never there to begin with.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
少し頭痛がする気がして。
Maybe I'm getting a bit of a headache.
ちょっと休もうと思います。
I think I'll rest for a little while.
あら、そうですか?
Oh, is that so?
なら、良い頭痛薬がありますよ。
Then I have some good headache medicine.
用意させましょう。
I'll get it for you. She would. Yeah. The hallway in front of Kinzo's study was filled with the sweet scent of poison, peculiar to that green liquor. Absinthe? Genji, who was completely used to it, did not grimace. And the Golden Witch didn't grimace either.
この中からどれほど出ぬのか。
How long has it been in there since last he left?
すでに数年になるかと思います。
I believe it has already been several years.
それほどまでにわらわをカゴの鳥としたいか。
Is he that desperate to turn me into a bird in a cage?
哀れな。
How pitiful.
それを願うそなたが
By
今
now,
やカゴの鳥。
by now, you're the bird in the cage. Ooh.
書斎の亡霊ではないか。
You're the ghost of this study, are you not?
それに気づけぬとは哀れな男よ。
How pitiful that he is unable to recognize even that.
あなた様と再びお会いする日までは、
Until
おそらく文字通り亡霊となっても研究を続けられるでしょう。
Until he meets you again, he will probably continue his research, even after literally becoming a ghost.
愛か狂気か妄執か。
Is it love or madness or delusion?
それも講じれば魔力となるか。
And yet, perhaps even those can form magical power when strong enough.
悲しき魔術師よ。
You sad magician. The witch grasped the doorknob to the study. When she did, there was a sound like that of flesh burning and splitting open. It was the sound of the doorknob literally burning the witch's hand. Oh, right, because of the scorpion thing. Beatrice-sama.
なんだこれは。
What is this?
魔除けか。
A ward against magic?
あやつめ。こんなものに頼らなければ、おのがみも保てぬというのか。
Is that person unable to get by without relying on something like this?
その扉はベアトリーチェ様にはおつらいものと伺っております。
I have heard that this door would cause you great pain, Beatrice-sama.
私がお開けいたしましょうか。
Shall I open it?
いや、よい。
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm a big girl. I can do it.
あやつが勝てば、わらわは永遠のカゴの鳥。
If he wins, I will be a bird in a cage for all eternity.
あやつが負ければ、愛に狂い、すべてを失った哀れな魔術師の生涯が笑い草となって残るだけ。
If he loses, only the life of a laughingstock will be left. The life of a pitiful magician who went mad with love and lost everything.
もはや金蔵もわらわさえもゲーム盤に並べられた駒に過ぎぬ。
Already, Kinzo and even I are nothing more than pieces laid out on the game board.
あとはルーレットの目が勝敗を分けるだけよ。
All that is left is for the roulette to decide who wins and loses.
ルーレットが目を見せるまで、わらわと金蔵が再会する必要はない。
Until the roulette shows its result, there is no need for me and Kinzo to meet again. The witch looked at her hand, which was beginning to heal bit by bit, even though it had been horribly burned.
あるいは、そのための魔除けなのか。
Or perhaps that is why he has this ward here in the first place.
なるほど。それもまた潔し。
Yes, perhaps even that is honorable in its own way.
すべては今や、金蔵のゲーム盤の上よ。
By now, everything sits on top of Kinzo's game board.
気に入ったぞ、金蔵。
I like it, Kinzo. I like the cut of your jib.
そなたとのゲーム、
Allow
楽しませてもらうぞ。
me to enjoy my game with you.
わらわに恋焦がれ、すべての生涯を投げ出したローマ術師の最後のギャンブル。
Allow me to enjoy
その
the
散りざまを楽しませてもらうぞ。
Allow me to enjoy the failure or the final gamble of the old magician who fell in love with me and threw away his entire life. And time moves on. It's 1 o'clock. This is actually where the episode cuts off from where I left off. Yep, I've hit the line. All right, I will stop here, and then yeah, I now need to go ahead and record episode 13, and then I can get these uploaded, and then we're all good to go. All right, thanks everybody. Oh right, I don't need to save.